Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our first show of 2022. And I thought we'd start it with one of the biggest Spider-Man collectors I know of all time. We've got Bruce. What's going on, Bruce? Welcome back.
Hey, Brad, thanks for having me back again.
No doubt. You when do you remember what month we did this? It was about a year ago, wasn't it? Or was it January?
Yes, it was in December, early
December.
December,
Yeah.
is when you started that interview with me, and you got a whole media avalanche started,
I,
Brad. I had two
they,
newspaper articles, a TV show, some other live streams with other people. So
I,
it was an awesome year, and you got it all started.
oh, I pushed the snow your way or the media coverage your way. There you
Exactly.
go. And you said we got a match, so we're matching with our Ditko classic
Yeah.
circles. Yeah. Very nice. So when we did that interview back in December, we showed a big chunk of your stuff, but you continuously buy new stuff, and we couldn't show it all. I mean, so you said you want to do a part two, and I said, "Why, duh."
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you were the
Yeah,
one that suggested it last time. You said, "Did you
yeah.
see everything?" And I said, "No, some things didn't make the cut." And you said, "Well, we're gonna have to do a round two." And so here we are. But yeah,
And
I
you
get a few
lit,
things from time to time. I don't buy a whole lot these days,
yeah,
but I do get a piece here and there. And I had
and
some before that didn't make the cut, didn't make the table last time. And as you know, Brad, this table is only temporary. This stuff
yeah.
usually doesn't get displayed because I have two teenagers, and this is our weight room, and things happen here all the time.
And
So,
at the
oh,
last minute before we started talking, you said, "Hey, I still got the Christmas tree up. Do you want to
yeah,
see the Spider-Man tree?" And I'm like, "Yes." I saw pictures on social media. Your Spider-Man tree looks amazing.
yeah, we'll check
So,
that out later on because it's Orthodox
yeah,
Christmas today. So to all our Orthodox friends, Merry Christmas out there.
no doubt. And we've got a few comments coming in. We've got SoFlo that says, "Hi, Brad and Bruce." We have a web slinger from Pennsylvania that's watching from the eastern side of Pennsylvania.
All right,
We've
my
got
Eastern
Mr.
brother.
Comic. You what, Bruce?
That's my Eastern brother. I'm on the Western side of Pennsylvania.
We've got Mr. Comics 89 said, "Hey, Crawl Space, TGIF." And Hornacek says that you and I are twins. There you go. You got the better hair genetic than I do, if we're
I'm not so
twins.
sure about that.
We've got Delboy 3001 says, "Hey, all." And Trayvon says, "Hello."
Hello, Trayvon.
So, Bruce, where shall we start? And by the way, Noelle, his daughter, is running the camera. So, Noelle, thank you very much. You're
Yes,
doing
thank you,
great.
Noel. And as you know, Brad, I truly feel that God blesses me every day, whether I have a lot here or a little bit. But obviously, my family, Noel, my firstborn, my wife, my son, all my
Yeah.
relatives, all my loved ones. It's just been a blessed life, and this is a
They
small
sound
part
like
of it.
my family. They're enablers. They give us
Exactly.
more Spider-Man stuff, don't they?
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they've had their fill of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
this year,
Yeah.
ever since, like I said, you started that avalanche of media, it's been pretty cool because we also had that, whole month long, or actually 2 month long, almost summer long, Steve Ditko exhibit here in
Oh
Johnstown,
yeah,
where I live. That's
that
his
was awesome.
hometown, and had a good time there. I got this costume designed specifically to wear to the Ditko events. The Ditko style Spider-Man with
Love
the
that.
webs under the arms and the artwork like Ditko did on the front. So I had a really good time at the Ditko event. In fact, I even was allowed to go as a guest,
Oh,
a featured person with a booth at the Ditko Con. Uh,
right.
I kind of forced my way into that, Brad, but Matt Lamb and all the people with the Bottle Works that put in so much work to get
Yeah.
that Ditko exhibit going. It's just been a great year, with all my collecting stories out there with the Ditko
Mm-hmm.
exhibit and con. It's just been a fun year. But some of the things that you see on the table today, Brad, some of them were here last time, not very many. Some of them,
Right.
I went back and looked at our video. Some we didn't get a chance to talk about, so they're back
Right.
out. We'll talk about them a little bit more.
Hey, real quick, back to that costume. That's
Yeah,
like a comic accurate costume where it's like got artist shading on it, like in the blue with the little black
yeah, and the little dots that you would see like in the old style premium
pixels.
comic
Yeah.
books, the little dots on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had a friend that knew how to do the digital patterns. So I told him what I wanted. He doctored it up a little bit, and I was really pleased with it, the way it came out.
Also, did you add the web pits?
I did. I bought the material off Amazon, and a former student of mine, I'm a high school teacher, a former student of mine is actually a seamstress in a nearby town, and she installed that for me. Uh, perfectly on the armpits there. So
what are the web pits made of? Is it just fabric? I mean, what is it?
yeah, it's just the fabric that I searched Amazon for spiderweb fabric.
Well,
And
there you
I
go.
found one that I thought would look kind of cool with the costume, and we just cut it, and she sewed it on there, and there we go.
Oh, awesome! I love it.
Yeah.
And what was it like when you were at that exhibit wearing that? Were people just
It
going
was
nuts?
pretty cool because last year, as you know, Brad, I had the 6-foot Ditko poster here.
Yes.
Well, that was one of the main pieces featured at the exhibit, and a lot of people wanted to get pictures taken by the exhibit. So when I showed up in costume and I looked like I walked right off the poster, it was kind of cool because I'd stand by the poster and pose with people, and it was just an honor to be there and to meet some of the Ditko family members, and to have my poster on display and a little plaque there that said, "This poster is from the collection of Bruce Wechtenhiser."
Oh, very nice.
That just made my day when I saw that.
Did you dress up for the No Way Home? Did you dress and go to the movie theater this year?
I did.
Okay. Did you wear that suit?
I've been wearing these costumes for about 20 years, Brad, since the first movie, and that's where it all got started at the movie theater back in 2002. So the local owner here in town, he always welcomes me to come up and walk around the lobby, and I asked him which night he'd like me to come for the crowds. So I didn't wear it into the theater when I watched the movie. I watched the movie first at an early showing, then I came out and had fun with the crowds.
Just like Peter Parker, you had a wardrobe change.
Exactly.
And there you go.
Change, and probably in a broom closet somewhere.
Yeah. What would you give the movie for a grade?
Oh, I gave it an A. Remember we did that 3-hour long?
I'm not sure everybody saw it, but I also gave it an A. No, Noelle, what do you give it? What was your grade for the movie? What do you think?
I give it an A too.
Oh, awesome. 3 A's all around. That's good between two teachers, you know?
Good times. Good times as a Spidey fan.
So let's take a look. Noelle, can you pan the table? Let's look at all the stuff at once that we're going to look at. There we go. I'm going to full screen you. Let's see. There we go. Let's take a look. Why don't we just pan the table, and we're going to try to talk about all those things. Wow.
Now, like I said, Brad, I'm blessed with what I have, but I have a lot of friends in the collecting world. Hopefully they consider me a friend, but all around the world. And I know there's at least 6, 7, 8 guys that have even more impressive collections than I do. And I say, wow, when I see their things, some of those guys have amazing collections, but I'm thankful for what I have. Sometimes I sell things, sometimes I buy things. It varies, but I'm very thankful for what I have here. But last time, Brad, you threw me for a loop with one of your questions.
I tend to do that. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's surprising to me because usually I'm not, I'm pretty much ready for any kind of question when I'm talking about Spider-Man things.
Right. What did I throw you for a loop for?
My very first collectible was comics, and I was stunned for a few seconds, and I kind of scrambled for an answer, but over the months I kind of went back in my memory, and there was an item that I didn't mention last time, and I was able to pick up a version of it this year.
Okay,
and it was the very first thing I got after my first comic book when I was about 5 years old. 4 years old, I got my first comic, and pretty soon after that, I got this wonderful sparkle paint set in the 1960s.
Oh wow, that's old, man.
That's
Look at
pretty
that thing.
old, and there's a couple different styles of these. This one actually, the paints and everything that's set right inside this box.
Yeah,
and it had just like saran wrap over the front. So it's even a different style than the one I had as a kid. The one as a kid is almost like a game board where you lift the lid off. But
so that was your first thing?
Back then. There wasn't much. This may have been one of the very first store-bought items that you could get. For the.
Am I correct in that the colorist did not give Thor pants?
Yeah, a certain version of this one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, poor Thor.
That was the summer season up in Asgard. He had to go for the shorts, but
poor Thor.
It's a pretty cool set. Like they gave you some instructions and things, but the pieces were already colored, and the paints had a little bit of sparkle material in them, like little sparkles in throughout the paint. So you would just kind of go over top of it wherever you wanted to do it. Someone already did partial of Captain America here with the sparkle paint on his shield.
Nice.
But some of these in my set haven't been painted upon at all. But they're hard to come by. They're getting pretty pricey. But when I finally realized that was my first collectible, and I didn't have mine from my childhood, I went and got that this year. So that's one of the cool things. Is it another last time? But I'm ready this time.
Another eBay purchase? Is that where you found it?
Yeah, pretty much eBay on that one. Most of my purchases are through eBay these days, or if I hear
Yeah.
of another collector somewhere, but a good majority of them are through eBay.
That's cool. What else you want to show off?
Well, last time like I said, I did show you this Marvel value stamp book that ruined most of my 1970s comics, and I think I kind of upset you that night with that, Brad. So I'm sorry. They used to have you cut out the stamps and put them in this book. Well, I didn't have the
comic book destroyer. You're getting your scissors in them.
That came with it. Okay, so when you got that empty book in the mail, they also sent you this beautiful poster.
Oh,
and it's
interesting.
A man in a Spider-Man costume, and
with the transparent New York City behind him. That's pre-Photoshop. It looks like.
Yeah, pretty bad at the time. It kind of looks like. Well, I guess we could talk about spoilers about the movie. Kind of looks like the final version of the costume from No Way Home, right? When he's taken off from his apartment.
Yeah, true. Yeah, kind of really bright blue pants. Yeah,
and this was actually made in London, so that might even be London in the background. But it was also given away with some UK Spider-Man comics back then. But it was sent out with every Marvel value stamp book, and so this poster is pretty valuable these days. And as
that's
well
cool.
as this
It's
book.
still there.
I don't know if you've seen these on eBay, but unused or with stamps, these are several hundred just for this little book.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that was missing last year. It came in about a week after our show, so we didn't have a chance to see it last year.
Mr. Comics says you better tape those back in your books before I get too mad.
Yeah,
those stamps.
Well, Mr. Comic, I also, unfortunately, at the time, I was in the habit of writing my initials inside the first page. And other things like that. So, and they were well read comics, so they weren't very mint condition. So I enjoyed them back then, but I know better now. There you
go. What else we got, sir?
I told you about this one last time, that this was my most emotional piece. My mother, was a single parent at the time and working at a low income job, and bought me this expensive radio. Mine is not on the table right now. It's pretty banged up for me using it all the time, listening to AM radio in the 70s. This one was signed by John Romita. I told you that before, but I didn't bother to open this one up last time, Brad, and show you the nice sealed contents. You don't see these sealed very often.
Nice.
But there's like a little card, and then this is all sealed with cellophane.
Still What's that on the right? Is that a battery
from way back in the 70s?
Oh my gosh! And that didn't corrode? It's not leaking on it?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
it's kind of like it's you can take it out. That one was still wrapped. So I think because it was wrapped, it hasn't done anything bad. But I keep an eye on it from time to time. But this was I did get it in this kind of box version as a child, but this is one I got
love
as an
that
adult and kept it in mint condition.
It wasn't even up until the 80s. The Secret Wars radios used to only be AM too. It's rare to find an FM, like a dual channel. So that's interesting.
The small Secret Wars, I believe, was AM. And then if you could get the big stereo set, Brad, with the detachable speakers, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I think that may have been AM FM, but I'm not 100% sure. I did have that one at one time as well.
Nice.
When I was buying some things back then. But let me show you this one here, Brad.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you've ever seen this before.
What in the world? No, I have not seen that. It's obviously Amazing Fantasy 15, but looks like Stan Lee signed it.
Yeah, it's not his real signature, but this is made out of 24 karat gold and also sterling silver.
Whoa.
And this was
nice.
Limited to 1,000 pieces. And you got this little certificate with it. It came out in 1994.
Oh, okay.
So it was a very limited item. Like back then, they were just starting to branch out to let you order things like this in the comic shops.
Right.
And this was Marvel Limited. They had other items. Marvel Limited was their brand name. But this one, like I said, only 1,000 of them made, and you don't see them show up very often for sale. But I got one at the local comic shop back then, and
love it.
Had it since then. But
it looks like something. I don't know if you ever watched it. Remember the Home Shopping Network? They used to sell stuff like that all the time.
Yeah,
looks like something that Stan Lee would have been on in the 90s hawking.
They probably made 1,000 of them so they could go on QVC or Home Shopping.
QVC, Home Shop. Yeah, no doubt.
You don't have the giant quantity. They don't let you come on there very often. But
yeah, no doubt.
How about this one, Brad? I think I sent you a picture of this at one point.
Oh yeah.
And I've never seen it before until this year.
No, I've never seen that one. What is it?
Yeah, it's called Cartoonorama.
Okay.
And it was made in 1979. And it's a kit that you're kind of like almost working on a cartoon cell as a child
Oh,
or
okay.
as a young person, and there's some images of people like painting the cells and things like that. And inside the box here, they do give you some acetate sheets. Like there's a picture of the scorpion with his purse that he stole off old lady. And then there's one of Spider-Man just kind of like punching the air or running or something like that.
Oh, he's flexing, man. He's flexing.
Oh, yeah, he's flexing. I'm sorry. I should have noticed that's like the quarter turn bicep. I used to be involved in bodybuilding a lot. So this is a set I never saw before or heard of, actually.
That's cool.
When I saw it on eBay a few months ago, I picked it up. Cartoonorama. You can make your own cartoons, Brad.
No, never saw it. Never seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one was on the table last time, but we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
The True Dimension. What does that do?
True Dimension. It can make a 3D action picture.
Oh,
so
okay.
On the back, you can see like there's several pieces of plastic again, and you paint the different pieces of plastic. And when you're done painting all those pieces of plastic with these beautiful paints and this beautiful paintbrush, sure they
are those paints like from the 1970s? Are they still liquid?
No, they're solid.
They're dead. Yeah,
they're solid. There's no danger there. But you just paint different levels. Like this one is just his head with one hand and a couple letters.
Interesting.
And then you paint the next level and the next level.
Are those canvases under it?
What's that?
Are those canvases under it? Is that what you paint on?
No, they're just clear sheets.
Oh, okay.
They're just totally clear acetate sheets. Then you have a cool kind of moon background.
The moon, okay.
So you put that back there after you're all done, and you would paint all the different sheets, and you would put it into this little tray.
Oh, the tray. I thought those were like canvases that you would paint on, but that's a big tray. Okay.
And the tray, you put the layers in there, like not right on top of each other, so it gives it like a 3D effect.
Oh, cool.
I suppose. Like you, Brad, I didn't trust my artistic ability back in the day to really try to do that.
I could not paint models or anything like that.
Yeah,
I remember the 80s models. I could not.
We talked about that last time. How both of us kind of like didn't have much skill in that area.
None.
But my older brother, he was pretty good with that kind of stuff with the models
Not me.
and all that. I hear something, Brad, that I was hoping to pick up again because this is from the A-High, Azrak Hamway.
What year you think that is? Mid 70s?
Yeah, that's about 1973 right there.
Yeah.
Azrak Hamway started around the 73, 74. I mean, they went on to the late 70s.
Yeah.
But those were some of the earliest items that I bought in the store. Last time we talked, I thought one of them was my first item, but I forgot.
And the reason you love that, it's the rock comic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Most of the imagery there is their attempt, at least the in-house artist, trying to imitate John Romita's rock comic pose. And we'll see some more of that on the table later on today. But A-High, when I did my purge, as I call it, in 1998, I sold about 500 items when I was getting married and buying a house. And A-High items were pretty easy to come by in the 90s. They were kind of like the cheapest items to buy almost, but now everything's jacked up.
Not anymore.
This one is expensive as well as all the other A-High items that you'll see tonight.
Yeah.
So you could take that out and throw it around. I don't know why they weren't allowed to call it Frisbee. Maybe that was copyright, but that's a Zing Wing.
Aaron says that there's multiple colors of those Frisbees out there.
He's correct. There's multiple colors. I've seen quite a few different varieties of the colors of that one. So if you're a completist, you got your work cut out for you with the Zing Wing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And since we're talking about doing arts and crafts, Brad, you can see we have pencil by numbers. This is the year for crafts. Paint with water. Paint by numbers. I need all the help I can get painting by numbers.
I'd even get the numbers messed up painting those things.
And those two are sealed. And so
is that a Whitman? The green one looks like it's made by Whitman, who put out some comics in a bag and a lot of Whitman stuff.
Yeah, the green one is definitely Whitman, like the puzzles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They put out a lot of stuff, but you can see the Whitman logo. Brad's good. He can see things, folks. His spider senses were tingling on that Whitman.
I may not be able to color in the lines, but my eyes still work, you know?
Now, this one is kind of different.
You paint and take a cigarette? You smoke with that thing? What is that? Paint puff?
You take a puff and then you paint. No, you shouldn't smoke around acrylic paint, at least.
Probably not.
Different characters, Brad, that they had back then.
My two favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew
Nice.
you loved the Hulk.
Both the Ramita senior art on that too, it looks like.
Yeah, and you only get 2 per package. So you only get 2 per package.
That's got to be mid-70s. That's when Marvel was putting out Spider-Man Hulk stuff together. Yep.
Yes, whenever mid to late 70s, whenever the 2 TV shows were both cranking out some episodes, you definitely saw Spider-Man and the Hulk because they were the ones that were on TV. And this pencil by number set here that had the lid up, it looks like it has a really cool, Green Goblin. Like, you're thinking, wow, there's gonna be some cool comic book scenes in there.
Yeah, what do we got?
You got some guy with a feather tickling Spider-Man. I don't. It's probably from Spidey Super Stories from the Electric Company. Yeah, I can't find a Green Goblin in this set anywhere.
Oh my gosh,
so maybe that's a little bit of false advertising there, Brad. Wow. I don't know.
That's not what you expect when you open up the paint by numbers from the 70s.
No, not when you see the cool Green Goblin. Yeah. Shooting Spidey with
what a disappointment that is. Bruce, we got one of my students watching. Josiah, what's going on, man? Hi, Mr. Douglas. I love you. Well, thank you, Josiah. Thanks for watching, man.
You're a great teacher, Brad. They all love you out there.
They all love Spider-Man. I tell you what, I never thought so many kids in this generation would love Spider-Man, but that movie, my goodness. And we've got Gavin saying hello. Okay, the whole class is showing up.
Oh, awesome.
We got Michael saying that drawing is from a 70s Spider-Man coloring book. I used to have that book. I think I did too, Michael. Which one do you think he's talking about? Can you point at it? Let's see.
Which one was he?
Well, obviously, yeah, that's a very popular.
Or image. This.
Oh, okay. So maybe that wasn't a coloring book, Michael.
Maybe that was a coloring book.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Interesting.
I'm a high school teacher myself, Brad, and
well, wait till your students start coming in.
Yeah, they might. Last year, one came in, at least one of them. But they all love the movie as well. So yeah, I get a little bit of extra cred for being a Spider-Man fan when the movies hit. But other than that, I'm a math teacher, so it's kind of hard to be likable. But I try
learn how much Spider-Man comics are worth. You can work math in there.
Plus, I teach geometry. I've been teaching that for the last 3 or 4 years. Oh. And geometry was mentioned in the movie, so I point that out a lot too. But
yeah. All right, back to your collection. What else are we going to see?
Back to the table. Well, since you mentioned it last year, I had to go and get me some again. I used to have them in the old days.
It's right over my shoulder.
It's the toilet paper.
I've got it.
And it has the original story on there, Brad. Did you ever read the whole story?
Yes. And during the toilet paper shortage, we were thinking we were going to break that thing open back in 2020.
Yeah, it's an original story. At least it's not a reprint,
Yeah.
So you can kind of be entertained when you need to use that.
Oh, Michael says that coloring book was from the Oyster Mystery coloring book from the 70s.
Yeah. I've seen that Oyster Mystery where he's kind of like in the water a little bit. I don't know if I have it. Oh, yeah. Whoa, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just like last year, Brad, you mentioned the workout book, and all of a sudden I pulled it out.
As if on cue. It's from that one. Boom.
Boom.
And by Whitman to bring it all home. Yeah.
Boom.
I had that coloring book too, Michael. I actually have looked on eBay for that one. I just haven't pulled the trigger. But
well, it's only 79 cents, Brad.
Yeah, I think inflation. More like $79. Hey, Del Boy has a question for you. He wants to know, can you still get the Marvel plaster card molds from the 70s that you used to paint afterwards? I've been searching eBay for years and I can't find them. Do you know that answer?
There is one on there. I had one as a kid. And like I said, Brad, I was terrible with the arts and crafts.
Yeah.
You had to add water, shake it up or whatever, and leave it sit inside that mold.
Yeah.
And then when you peeled it apart, you were supposed to paint it yourself. There's one on eBay I've been watching, but it's pretty pricey. But if you really want it, it is out there.
Yeah.
It's called Spider-Man Mix and Mold. So it's been out there for probably over a year.
What's the thing that you told me on text? You're like, sometimes you just got to step up and pay for it, because it doesn't come around that often.
Yeah. My friend Marvin, he was on your first show.
You're right.
And he's the one that has jolted me back to reality sometimes and said, like, sometimes you just got to pay, if you really want it and it's not going to show up again, you just got to pay. So in that vein, I want to talk about one of the things that he told me to, after I missed it the first time, this poster back here.
Okay.
Can you see it very well?
Yeah. The Bullwinkle show. Yep.
Yeah. The Bullwinkle show. I missed it the first time at a low price, so I had to pay a little bit more, but I went to this show, Brad, as a child, and this was the
wow.
first live action Spider-Man. Even it was a year before the Electric Company, and this show toured
Oh, wow.
several cities, and it was really a strange collection of characters. If you look at the poster,
Right.
you have Dracula over here, Dudley Do-Right, King Kong, and then all of a sudden Spider-Man. So these posters, actually, I saw this poster when I was in grade school, and we didn't even have a car at the time, and it was going to be, I think, on a Sunday afternoon in a part of town that would take too long to walk. So I begged one of my friends at school to get his dad to take us. He took us, and Spider-Man came on like the last 2 minutes of the show to save the day.
Wait a minute. How long did you have to sit through Bullwinkle and Dracula for 2 minutes of Spider-Man? What kind of show was this, man?
I don't know. I can't remember the story very much, but I know Dracula was the main villain, and Spider-Man came in and got him at the end, and that was it. But at least they stuck around to sign some autographs, and I went up and I gave Spidey a big pat on the back, and he had actually a decent costume. There's a man on eBay that sells these sometimes, and he has a story of when it first started, this live show, the costume was terrible. And he even shows some photos on his eBay sales pages of a terrible costume. But the one I saw was decent. But that was the first live action Spider-Man way back in 1973.
I wonder if it was Danny Seagram who was in the costume for the Electric Company.
Probably not. I don't know if he would have agreed to go on that big tour. But it was his costume, I would say, was probably the one I saw in the live stage show was more comic book accurate even than Seagram. Seagram had a good costume too, but that was the first ever. But that was one I passed up on at one point and I had to pay a little bit more the second time.
Right.
But I'm glad I finally got it.
We have a comment from Danny. He says, I have an item you probably don't have, very rare and expensive. If you're interested, Bruce, hit me up. Danny, why don't you tell us what it is?
Yeah, don't be so mysterious, but
I know.
You could hit me up too. I'm on Instagram at Spidey Collector, or just Facebook under my own name.
Yeah, the comments are talking about they think it was called the mix and mold or something, and they said the molds would perish, but I still want one.
Yeah,
but probably the box is what probably lasted. Yeah.
Look up the mix and mold. I think there's, like I said, on eBay, but I don't know if it's complete or what the deal is, but it's pretty high as far as my budget goes at this point. But
I no doubt.
Then up here, I found put it in the frame. We saw it last time. It's the inflatable Ditko pillow from the 60s. You had to send away, through the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put it in the frame.
That's awesome.
To kind of display.
Does not look like a pillow. It looks like a raft that you put in a pool.
Right, exactly. Who wants to sleep on a plastic pillow?
Right, I know.
I don't know. How about these, Brad? Remember the calendars?
Yes. And someone photoshopped the 75 one that says Happy 2022.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. But,
I love those because it has original art in it instead of like reprints. Yeah.
And some of them, like this was one I bought myself, back in 1978 when I was 14 for $4.95. But a lot of good artwork, a lot of original artwork in there, like you said. Yeah. And
look at the back. Is that Ramita on the back? Whose art is that? Is that Pollard?
It looks pretty close. Some of it may be him or someone else inking it, but it looks like a lot of Ramita style.
Yeah. Can you flip through it? Can we see what the inside looks like?
Yep.
First,
first they kind of give like a table of contents.
Nice, with the Daily Bugle. Yeah.
Table of contents, and then they give you like full sizes. This is kind of like
is this the first Spider-Man calendar, or because he shared it with there were Marvel calendars with him in it?
Yes, the first Marvel calendar was 1975. It came out the same year as Origin of Marvel Comics.
Right.
And I was so excited. I was only 11 at the time, but they're in major bookstores, at the mall or thing.
Right.
They got Marvel stuff at the mall. This is awesome. I got the calendar. I got the Origins books.
Yeah.
But this is his own calendar, the very first one.
Web Slinger from Pennsylvania says that they put the birthdays of the bullpen artists and writers on the dates.
You can see some of their black and white photos.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, go to December, see if they put Steve Ditko in there.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee.
They better. I'm going to get mad here.
I think Ditko's birthday's in December. I could be wrong.
I think it is, but I don't think they put him in. If they did, they probably didn't put a picture.
No doubt.
I'll check it out later. But every year Marvel put out a calendar, and this was the first year where they dedicated it just to one character.
Hornacek says in comments, in 2023, you can put that calendar up because the dates match.
Yep, 2022
from 78.
Match the 77. If you have the 77 calendar, you can put it up. Yeah, a lot of people on the internet are talking about that these days. Like, put up your calendars. And
who saves? Well, you do, but who saves calendars? I pitched mine.
Yeah, the only reason we saved these were because they're the cool art and collectability. But you know me, Brad. I'm a pack rat. I don't throw away anything. Pretty much.
Hornacek has corrected both of us. Ditko's birthday's in November. You want to check November?
Oh yeah, I'll take a quick look.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he is November.
Bruce lives in Steve Ditko's hometown, which is what? Is it in there?
I don't think they gave him credit in this one.
Oh,
maybe they didn't know at that point.
Did they put Stans in there in December?
Is he December?
Yes, Stans is December. November 2nd, says Hornacek.
November 2nd. Nope, that was just a little artwork.
And
Stan was
Stan's towards the end, I think.
Yeah, 27th, but they didn't put.
There you go.
They didn't put a picture of Stan. They have Spidey saying, "I'd be nothing without you, Stan."
Oh, that's nice. Cool. All right. I imagine Mr. Ditko would not want his birthday in a Marvel calendar, being a private person and all, is what Mr. Comics
I can
says.
imagine the same thing. Because let me show you. Stay there for a second.
Yeah.
Whenever we had the Ditko exhibit here in town, we also presented Ditko the play, which actually was in New York and Rhode Island back in a couple years back. And I was lucky enough to get a little cameo in the play.
Oh, nice. In the spider suit. Yep.
Yeah. And here's the original playwright was Lenny Schwartz, and there's Mark Ditko in the audience.
Ditko. Nice dude. We interviewed him here on the show. Yep.
Yep. Good interview. Good dude.
Did the reporter for the newspaper hyphenate Spider-Man? That's key.
Yes, he did.
Good.
He hyphenated all over the place. So we're happy about that. But
good job.
I learned so much about Steve Ditko this past year, and even the play. Lenny Schwartz did a lot of research, and the family. Mark Ditko helped him out with a lot of things. So it was just kind of cool to learn so much about Steve Ditko and all the things that he did. But this cameo was kind of like our local director took liberties a little bit, because in the original, there was no fan coming in dressed as Spider-Man, knocking on the door and frantically wanting to ask questions. But
you made it above the fold of the newspaper, and you didn't even have to rob a bank.
Yeah,
so congratulations on that.
That was pretty easy for me to play that role, like the frantic fan wanting to ask Steve Ditko questions as well.
Cool.
Here's some of the book covers. If you folks have never seen this past year, Brad's allowing me to write some articles and do some matching videos.
Spidey
the
stash.
Space. And these showed up on the Back to School episode a few months ago. But these are pretty cool because you got two. And this, to my knowledge, was the first time you could ever get a Spider-Man book cover back when I was a kid in the 70s. So I was super happy to see those come out.
With classic Romita senior art from the Treasury.
Absolutely.
Issue 1. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And we don't talk about my comic books very much here when I'm with you, Brad. That's where it all started for me. And I bought some comic books starting around issue 71 sporadically. I was going through a lot of things with my family at the time. I was young. We didn't get every issue, but from 99 on to 800 or whatever it is now, I haven't missed an issue of Amazing.
Nice.
So here's my earliest one that I still have. I used to have number 2.
Nice.
But here's number 6.
Number 6 with the lizard.
That's I went back and bought that as an adult, of course, going backwards.
Yep.
It was published before I was born. But that's my comic connection there.
Nice.
Comic connection. And speaking of Steve Ditko, of course, we know that classic design of the T-shirt that you could order, but they did a whole bunch of iron-ons that you could buy if you couldn't get the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Iron-ons, and then that's been replicated on some recent issues. There's Steve's artwork. And Joe Jusko's.
Joe Jusko, yeah.
Yep.
I love Joe Jusko's stuff.
Homage to Steve on that one.
Nice.
So, just
if memory serves, those iron-ons didn't last very long. Did they?
No, they. Well, maybe 3 or 4 washings before a piece here would start to peel off.
No doubt, your shirt would start peeling. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I showed you these on the show before, Brad. But here's a video disc.
I remember those. Those are like laser discs, aren't they?
Yeah, like
From the 80s. There's a giant like CD inside of it.
they just put it right into your machine. And
Yep.
I never had one, but
I
this
didn't
was
either.
all from the 60s cartoon show.
Yep.
You know, obviously this came out in the early 80s, but
Yeah.
it was from the 60s cartoon
They released some Nicholas Hammond 70s Spider-Man video discs too for a while. Oh,
I'm
speak
not
of the
familiar
devil.
with those.
Look at that.
Brad, look at this one. I have Nicholas Hammond.
Oh, yep. You were right.
Nicholas Hammond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think that they eventually released, at least some people claim that they saw them in the theater, but they combined some of the episodes to make the movies of the TV show.
Yeah, they did.
So there's the Spider-Man, there's Spider-Man Strikes Back.
I think that mainly overseas they did that, is what I heard.
Yeah,
so
that's what I always say to people too, but some people claim they saw them in their local theater. So I guess they may have made the rounds to some local theaters as well. But
right.
This is a more modern product, and it's a little bit shiny because it's in protective cases, but these are lenticular cards that were based on the cartoon series.
Oh, when did those come out?
They came out in 2010.
Okay, those are cool.
And I've only gotten them recently. I don't even know if they were released here or somewhere, some other company.
Is it just a set of 3, 6, 9 of them? I mean, did they release more than 9?
I don't think so. They did release some that were autograph cards.
Yeah.
But these were the lenticular, like all lenticular.
Love
so they
it.
weren't like just a regular flat, piece of artwork.
Yeah.
But I do have, I think one card that Paul Souls signed as Peter Parker, a picture on it somewhere in my house here.
R.I.P. Paul Souls. Great dude.
Yeah. Yep. I love that interview. I went and watched that last year after I started getting more involved with you at the crawl space. And
yeah, he was such a nice dude. And a shout out to his son who set up his father's webcam and put him dad right in front of it. I thought that was so fun.
He was running the show pretty well there, his son. Yeah, he did a good job.
All right, what else we got?
Here's something for you, Brad, your favorite.
Oh, Amazing Friends, man.
Yeah, my daughter used to like that too when she was a youngster. I used to get out the old VHS tapes.
Well, Noelle has good taste.
This is a 45 record. Yeah, she loved them.
Yeah.
This is a 45 record. And this is the music.
Oh, for like booklet. A piano or?
Yeah, piano solo.
Oh, interesting.
And they talk about the show a little bit. They give you a character, like bio of some of the characters.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, Bruce. There's not a hyphen. There's not a hyphen.
I know. Yeah, they took their liberties. Yeah. They took their liberties.
On the sheet music, does it have the lyrics? Because the Amazing Friends music does have lyrics. It's like Spider-Man swings, Firestar, blah, blah, blah.
It's all on here. I'm not going to try to sing it for you, Brad, but Spider-Man, do, yeah.
Yep, there's the words. Little known fact that Amazing Friends did have lyrics. Very cool.
Yeah, you're looking at all the cool like graphics of all the villains and stuff at the beginning. But
so what did they? I guess they put that in because if memory serves from the 80s, they had record stores, and inside the record stores, I guess you could get sheet music, couldn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was where that would be, like in a Sam Goody. Is that? I guess maybe like a Sam Goody or something.
Like a Sam Goody, and sometimes even music stores. Like if you go to buy instruments,
they
would have the sheet music there, of course, for just about any kind of instrument you wanted. But definitely in the record stores, you could buy like whatever Michael Jackson's song was out or somebody like that. You could buy the sheet music.
That's interesting. That's cool, man. Love it.
Oh,
look at that beauty.
One of your friends and my friend, Ron Friends.
Yes, that's so pretty.
This up this year. He his affiliation with some of the local comic shops and things, and he signed that one. But there's our man Ron Friends, great artist.
So pretty. That thing is awesome looking. It reminds me very much of.
Poster.
He just put it up on his Facebook, the old and new poster. Do you remember that from the 80s?
Yeah, I commented on that too because you said you had it on your wall. Some other guy said he had it on his wall. I had it on my bedroom wall for a long time too. Yeah, and I still have that somewhere. It's a little beat up, but I still have it in my collection.
Mine's somewhere too. I'll have to look for it, but I love that poster.
That's a really cool poster. In fact, I had that on one end of my, like above the head of my bed, and at the feet of my bed, I had this blacklight poster that you've seen before. But
yep.
So, and I also had the Rock comic poster that you see behind me.
Yes.
On my walls of the bedroom. Yep. So, good times.
Oh, the voices of Marvel.
With these two items here.
If memory serves, the bullpen sings, don't they? And they say Steve Ditko's out.
Yeah. Yeah, they sing on this one.
Yeah.
And, they say something about, Steve Ditko wasn't going to do it or whatever. And then this one was the Mary Marvel Marching Society song.
Oh, yeah. You can
And
find
it has
that on
actual
YouTube.
lyrics that some people know. I don't know the lyrics to that one. But
That's before my
those
time.
are fan club items. Whenever you were in Mary Marvel Marching Society,
you can find the record. You can get the audio on YouTube easily. I've heard it before.
Yep,
Yeah.
you can find those.
Yeah.
And then there's one here that was in the late 60s. Nobody Loves the Hulk. I thought I'd show you that one because you're a Hulk fan.
I have heard that song. It's really sad. Poor Hulk.
They have the words on the back. But, a lot of times you find these, Brad, like sealed in an envelope.
Here, read a few of the lines. What's some of the lines of the Hulk song?
It says, he's a monster who is ugly, oversized, and green. Nobody loves the Hulk. Nobody loves the Hulk. Except you and me. It does say
exactly. Yeah. We love him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. So one line says, we don't allow no green-skinned people in here.
Oh,
so
well,
that's bad. That's bad. But
so they're racist of green people.
Yeah. I have another one sealed. It was called the Queen City Record Company.
Oh.
And they'd send them out like sealed in an envelope to some record, some radio stations and things like that. And sometimes they never open them up.
I can totally see like a guy going radio station to radio station handing these Hulk records out. Will you please play the Hulk song? Come on.
That'd be cool to see maybe Herb Trimpe going around trying to do that.
Yep.
Have you seen these before, Brad?
Let's take a look.
Mirrors.
I've seen a mirror, but I have not seen that mirror. Here, pan it left. We'll see Noelle in a second.
Okay.
There she is.
You can see the best videographer in the United States.
Yeah, she's our star. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, you could be Spider-Man's pal and put your photo right in the middle there.
Yes. Is that you? Is that you in there?
No, this is just a generic one that came with it. But when we go over to the tree, remind me about one special place to show you on that when you get there.
Okay, will do.
But yeah, they had several versions of these mirrors. Like I'm sure you've seen other ones. Sometimes the image is almost covering the entire mirror. So
yeah, it's not really a mirror.
how good of a mirror that is if the image is covering everything. But maybe some people like it better that way, Brad. I'm not sure.
Who knows? If you put too many fingerprints on, the value goes down probably.
Yeah, exactly. This is a more recent item. I never took it out of the box. It's a motion globe.
Ooh, nice. Lifting the heavy stuff from Ditko's master planner. Very nice.
Probably, in my opinion, maybe the best 3 or 4 pages in a comic book sequence when he finally lifts up all that heavy machinery above him. It was just so masterfully done as it progressed through that scene there. But at least to me, it's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yep, one of my favorites too. You keep going over the thing by your leg. That is one of my favorite things of all time from the 1970s. Yes, that thing. It's yellow, and I recently bought that too. The Color Form set. I love that thing.
Yes.
One of my all-time favorites.
When I was a child, I didn't have this one. I just had the separate Spider-Man one, which I bought.
I bought that one too.
Drugstore of all places. I don't know why they had a couple toys every so often in the drugstore back in the 70s. But I didn't see it in a toy store, but I'm not sure if anybody ever took these off, Brad. Maybe they did.
Same with my piece. No one ever played with it. So sad. Mine was beat up.
Look, you got some Spidey villains. You got Kraven. Yep. You got Abomination and the Leader for the Hulk. You got Lizard. Yep. But
Doc Ock is yellow.
Yeah. My box is kind of has seen better days. I just got this probably about 2 years ago, but when the contents were that nice, I couldn't pass it up.
So for people watching this, Bruce and I are stumped about that thing. Did the Color Forms have a wrap around them, or did they actually show up and the stores like that unwrapped? I think they'd have to be wrapped, otherwise kids would take them out and steal them.
I was trying to think, Brad, when we were talking about this a few days ago.
Yeah.
When I bought that one in the drugstore, I really don't remember it being sealed in any way.
Yeah.
Like back then, even board games back then, I think they just
board games weren't wrapped.
To not open up the board game. I don't know. I could be wrong about that too, but
yeah, if you know if that 70s stuff has been wrapped, let us know. What an obscure question to put out to the internet. Did it have shrink wrap or not?
Yeah, or maybe a little piece of tape somewhere at least.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of companies were famous for putting tape on the things back then. But
yeah,
let's head back down this way a little bit.
Okay.
And if you have any question or comments out there, please ask. We're always looking for.
Oh,
good
Mr.
questions or
Comics says
comments.
that mirror would be great if you got a picture of you and Stan Lee, and you put
Yeah.
that in the mirror.
Well, I
So,
have some of those, Brad. You know I do.
yeah.
And
Oh, you got the
you know you
Spider
love
Woman one
these.
too. Yeah.
You see Spidey on the Spider Girl or Spider Woman
Oh, yeah.
package.
They just
Yeah.
shrunk them down a little bit.
Yep.
Very nice.
They just didn't want you to forget that somehow she was involved with Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Back
And her
in the
costume even
70s.
has web pits on it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Spider Girl has the wings. Nice.
Mine is literally over my shoulder. My underoos and mints and thing. That was one of my favorite things. If you go to the Crawl Space Archives, I interviewed the guy that designed the underoos.
I watched
So
that one too.
that's
That was a
fun
great
interview. Yeah.
That was an awesome interview.
Yeah.
Here's something you might never have used back in the old days, Brad.
Oh, the bubbles.
Yeah, it's like a soap.
Oh, from Colgate too. So that's a big
Colgate's-
brand.
Yeah, and this little base that it's in, sometimes you won't find it. Like you'll see this on eBay, but you won't find the base with it.
Interesting.
So
it's
and
just bubble. It's just bubbles for a bubble bath.
it's just bath foam, I guess. It says just squeeze and wash.
Yep.
And then it also says not a bubble bath, not an aerosol. It's bath foam.
Bath foam.
And they're careful to point out that it.
Is there stuff still in it, or is it empty?
No, this one's empty. Sometimes you'll see them full, but I don't trust buying the full ones.
I would not take a bath with any soap from the 70s.
Yeah, I would not trust taking a bath with a 70s soap. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust it surviving a trip to my house. Through the mail either.
Ornisec says there was no plastic wrap on those boxes. They probably used elastic. I don't know what that means, but
they could have used like an elastic, like a rubber band or something around it.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, back in the 70s, you just never knew. Like, I honestly don't think there was anything on the one I bought, and I'm pretty sure it was brand new. But and even like I said, board games, I kind of doubt that they were really sealed back in the day. But
I like your theory of just a thing of Scotch tape.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened. Yeah,
Scotch tape used to be on a whole lot of different things. Mego boxes, all kinds of stuff. But here's a repro box. This is not the original box of this 1966 puppet.
Yeah, that's one of the first Spider-Man collectibles. If it was original, is that an
Yeah.
original puppet inside? And inside
the
a
puppet is original, but I
Nice.
found somebody that makes the boxes, and it's pretty authentic as far as a repro
wow.
goes. But the puppet I have inside is authentic from 1966. But they did such a good job, and I know I'll never afford a box that I had to go.
And that's back in the 60s when you would see Marvel and DC stuff on at the same time.
Exactly.
So
And
didn't I see Wonder Woman on there, and was Batman on it?
Tonto and the Lone Ranger.
Tonto, Lone Ranger, and Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Good stuff.
Yep. Aaron says he only knows of one original sealed in the puppet.
Who said that?
Aaron Houch said that.
Yeah, Aaron's very knowledgeable, and it's probably Cy Winnie. Cy Winnie has also they came in a plastic bag with a header, and Cy I know has some of that good stuff in his collection, but to find them in a header card is almost impossible.
Right.
But
that's
so
60. That early Spider-Man stuff from the
Yeah.
60s. That's very rare. Yep.
Can you see? Can you come over and get this one at all? This frame before we come around. I'll come around the front of the table in a couple seconds. I picked up a piece of original art finally, Brad.
Oh, yep.
This is a preliminary cover, not the finished cover, for the Cream magazine that I showed you last December.
That's so cool.
Ramita, 1970s rock and roll magazine. When the rock comic was coming out, I was able to trade a friend of mine from overseas to get this preliminary artwork. And then I put it in this frame. Well, I didn't put it in. Michaels did it for me, but I got it framed at Michaels. So
refresh me what Cream magazine was about. Was it a rock comic or magazine?
It was only rock and roll. It was America's only rock and roll magazine, all about the rock stars and the records. And the only reason that Spidey was involved or Marvel was because the rock comic was coming out. They wanted to have some promotion, but otherwise there were no superheroes involved in that magazine except for this issue.
That's cool though. You got original John Romita art. That's so cool.
Yeah, preliminary artwork.
Nice. Very
Prelim.
cool. Yep. I would be nervous dropping it off at Michael's to get it framed. Were you nervous?
I was a little nervous, and they reassured me that it was insured and all those things like that.
There you go.
It's actually done on vellum. The paper, you could probably see some tears in it from before I got it.
Yeah.
But it was on vellum, and it was quick pencils, but it's pretty close to what ended up as the finalized artwork on that one.
Very cool. Very cool.
Here's a giant book I'm bringing up to the table, Brad. Look at this giant.
Oh, I've seen that on Amazon. That thing's huge. Is that the size of like what the artist used to draw, like the paper size? Is that what the paper size usually is?
It's the exact size, Brad. Yes.
Oh, cool.
And
That's why it's so big.
They didn't. I have some artist books of John Romita where they just photocopied or made a good copy of the original art, but this is actually like colorized. As the comics would be, or
you got to read that at the table. You can't do some light reading at night holding that thing. You'll bust your face. Yeah,
that's why I work out down here in this weight room, Brad, so I can read these books. You got to work out like Spidey to be able to read this book. Look at him lifting the weights, so you got to get.
Lift the weights just like Spidey's going to lift that book.
Yeah, pretty heavy book, but it was kind of.
Is there any special features in the back of it? Anything fun?
Well, they do have. I don't know if you've heard about the new one that's out by Taschen.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
They got people to give them really nice copies of the comics, and they have photographed the actual comics.
Oh, I saw some pictures of them doing photography, copying the exact comics, and they did the ads and everything. And that's really cool. That book's like how do you say it, Taschen? That book's like $400.
Yeah, it's pretty costly.
Yeah,
it's above my budget right now. So
same.
But some of these were like for redesigned covers for like some trade paperbacks,
modern coloring,
re-embellished by other people.
Yeah.
And then there's the 6-foot poster.
There's the poster you got.
There it is.
From the 60s. Yep.
And there's some photocopies of some of his original art pages as well.
Nice.
So there are some extra features at the end here. It's pretty cool. But even some preliminary art, you could see that this was like pencil art.
Yep. That
they had access to. But so yeah, they had some cool special features at the end of it. And then here's the pictures that are on this. These pages are on display at the Library of Congress.
Yep.
They were contributed there a few years ago. And if you make an appointment, you can go down and see Amazing Fantasy 15's original pages there. But
you know what would blow people's minds if there was a preliminary drawing of Mary Jane by Steve Ditko where the flower wasn't right in front of her face.
Right.
That would blow people's minds if that was
really would. If that exists, that would blow everybody's minds. I'm sure about that.
Yep.
In the front here, speaking of creators and co-creators.
Oh yeah.
Here's that rock comic, rock reflection, I should say, of a superhero.
Yep.
And this is just a flat. So it was a promo that they were giving out to get people to hopefully order these records at the stores or at the radios.
Is there a record in it, or is it just a picture?
No, it's just a flat. But these were signed by Stan Lee.
Okay, cool.
With ballpoint pen, like you could feel like that it etched into the cardboard.
Yeah.
So I picked this one up this past year to add to my collection of stuff about the rock reflections and rock comic LP.
I love that picture.
We're not sure how many are made. You can see them; they pop up on eBay once in a while.
Yep.
But that's pretty cool that Stan signed those as promos back in the day.
Yeah, he was probably going to record stores. I mean, radio stations and hawking that album and the Hulk album too, probably.
Yeah, exactly. This one I showed you last time, Brad, is a latch hook kit.
I remember those. Yeah.
I found a variant this year, so I thought I'd show you. I never knew there was a variant of the latch hook kit.
There is a variant. Yeah.
So many variants. It even looks like they're claiming to be from different companies, but. And maybe the picture is slightly different when you get done with the latch hook there. But so I got these both sealed, but kind of cool that I saw that looks a little different. So I'll pick that up.
And I guarantee you, if you and I can't color, we can't latch and hook.
No, I'm not going to bother with a latch hook. No, I'm not doing latch hook. Then when I see your other collectors that you have on your shows, Brad, that gives me some ideas sometime. This one has a torn package, but it's the mini train set.
Oh, cool.
Do you remember who was showing that to you?
Oh, it's been a minute.
Yeah. He was the person that followed me last year, I believe.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he
what
had
year
this
is that?
And it was cool to see it. And I'm like, where'd you get that mini train set? I've had the large size, but not the mini. So
That probably mid 70s.
Yep, mid to late 70s, and it was originally $397, but somebody bought it for $297, and then I got it this year for a little bit more than that.
We have Mr. Comics says we owe Ditko so much for his part in bringing Spider-Man alive. But I'm really glad it was Romita Sr. that gave Mary Jane life. So
yeah, that's cool. I mean, and I agree. You know, I've learned more about Steve Ditko, like I said, this past year about how much he actually contributed, and I've always loved Stan. Stan's persona like helped me grow up as a kid. Really, like he was like the cool guy, you know. And I don't know if he was really like that in person, but his persona was awesome. He promoted Marvel Comics like nobody else. And Steve Ditko did so much good stuff on Spider-Man, but so did John Romita. Yeah, so I'm just happy to be able to see all those guys working on the comics and everything else over the years. But just awesome people. At least the first 100 and some issues were just incredible to think about. You know, all the villains, all the supporting cast, the Mary Jane. I mean, you just can't beat this character. That's why we do what we do, Brad.
Exactly.
Spider-Man crawl space. It's all about Spidey.
Ooh, what's that?
Some yo-yos.
Oh, I probably had that. Oh man, I haven't seen that since my childhood. My goodness.
Yeah, one side is just regular artwork, and then lenticular. We got back to lenticular again.
That's got one of my favorite Spider-Man poses where he's crawling or it's squashed down. Yeah. What year is that? That's got to be 80s.
This one is probably, it says 78 on it.
Oh, okay. I totally had that.
And they got all the DC characters listed as well.
Yep.
Right on the bottom, Duncan yo-yos.
Yeah.
They didn't put the hyphen in Spider-Man this time too.
Not
on the bottom.
I tell you. No respect. Sometimes Spider-Man's like the Dangerfield of comics, you know?
I've probably showed you this before. This is my original medallion, bronze from the 70s. I remember
those. Yep.
This was the little paper or plastic bag that it came in, and it's all torn up because I used to carry it in my pocket when I was a kid back in the 73, 74. I was like 9, 10 years old. And
how much did you have to mail away for that? Was that like $3 or $4?
Like $3. Yeah, $3.
That was a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I got this and the Rock comic at the same time out of Foom magazine. And then
did you get the Hulk and Conan too?
I didn't get them as kids. I've had them as adults, and I've resold them. Never ordered them as a kid because I was just thankful to get the Spidey. And I also never ordered this as a kid because this is the silver version.
Oh yeah, they came in gold and silver, didn't they?
Yeah, they're harder to find because people weren't buying them. You know, silver or gold ones. They were so much more expensive. Yeah, I had a gold one at one point and sold that during one of my purges, Brad. Right. But I got this one again, and I just one of my friends on the internet gave me a really good deal on this one this year, so I got this one.
I like that one. Yep,
the silver. And here's your favorite things too, Brad. Nasta.
Oh, I love Nasta stuff. I had so many school supplies from
pencil
Nasta.
sharpener. Sharpen it right underneath Spidey's foot. Just put your pencil right there.
Yep.
He looks like he's about to hit you though when you're sharpening your pencil. Be careful.
Hey, kid.
Be careful. Don't put a pen in there. He's gonna.
So I had that stuff like circa the first grade, which was 1981. I bet you it says 1980 or 1981 on those. Does it say it?
It says 1980. You got it.
Yep, that was.
You got it.
I had the ruler set. I had the magnets. I had the what else came out from Nasta?
They had a compass, like with the sharp pointy end on it.
Had it all.
Draw with.
Yep.
There were staplers, and if anybody out there is interested in the Nasta and the school products, check out my article on Brad's website.
Yep.
On this Back to School with Spidey. I did that back in September, I believe, or October, and there's all kind of good stuff.
Love
like
that stuff.
And all the Mead products are on there, the notebooks and binders.
Yep.
That was a good time to be a Spidey fan back then.
Yep. Love that stuff. Yep.
And back then also was a good time to play some video games, Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
look, there's the Atari cartridge.
Yes, but this one is a little bit different. I showed you the regular one last time.
Oh, this one is different. What is
has
that?
A Parker Brothers logo on it.
Of course, Parker Brothers put out the game. Of course.
Parker, Peter Parker. And then this box has an angle to it.
Huh.
And it was UK.
Oh, it's a UK Atari cartridge?
UK Atari cartridge. And you can see the booklet has different languages on it. It has Parker. So I thought that was cool to pick up a variation of that one.
Huh.
And since we last talked, also, Brad, I picked up this item which I had sold in the purge before.
Wow, I remember that. That's on the counter, isn't it? At the video
counter
games
display for the video game stores.
Yeah. Well, there weren't video game stores. There was like Target and Venture. I bought mine at Venture.
It was in the video game department. I apologize.
Walmart.
In the video game department of like, Kmart, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man, Parker Brothers counter display.
Love that. How long ago did you get that? I would you would have beat me to the eBay auction. I would have bought that thing.
Well, what was weird is, I know a couple of my buddies have them. Marvin has one, Marvin Hoover, and I had one a long time ago, and I wanted it again, and I actually found it strangely on a UK eBay site. I don't usually do that. I don't usually look at things, and I just was like falling asleep one night looking around, and I saw it, and I got a decent price on it. So,
well, now you've piqued my curiosity. How do you find UK eBay? Is it?
I think you can kind of search or type in like eBay and the country, and then it pops up. But sometimes they won't ship to the United States, so it's like you're getting teased by something going out there, but you're not going to get it because they don't
Sometimes
ship.
The shipping's more than the product. Yeah.
The shipping, and even on our eBay, there are people in the UK selling things or France or places, and the shipping is outrageous. So sometimes they have nice things, but the shipping just takes it out of the budget.
Yep.
Back then also was handheld video games.
Oh, I remember the ad of that in the comics. There was a Spider-Man and the Hulk one, wasn't there?
Right. And you see J. Jonah at the top of a burning building for some reason.
I'll leave him there. Yeah.
And I think you had to you manually keep track of your score too. That's how good they were back then with these little sliders on the sides.
What is that? Does that say crawl space? What is that? It says crawl S something.
Where's that?
Crawls.
Crawls, hops, leaps, scales.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there's
points. Do you roll you roll a ball into the holes, don't you?
I don't think so. I think it's a video game. I never put the batteries in it, but you put it on and you push this button, and you see where you end up. And there's some wheels down here to keep track of scores too. So this was really an early, almost as bad as like the Mattel football. Back
right. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of. Yeah, that's pre-Game Boy.
Exactly. And here's another radio in the shape of Spider-Man's head. AM Amico radio.
Yep.
So since I had the other radio, I thought I better pick that one up.
Bruce, it's within reach. I've got that too.
Nice.
It's right here. It's right here.
Yeah,
a fan of the show. Actually, his wife made him purge some of his collectibles, and he said, you want some? And I'm like, sure. So then he gave that to me. So thank you to him. So
my daughter noticed that you have a Squishmallow in the background too.
Oh, I do. Tying it in to our students. One of my former students works at Walgreens, and she texted me. She said, we got Spider-Man Squishmallows. And I'm like, I'll be there.
Well, my daughter got me one for Christmas this year. Is it the same one? Well, I can't see it. Oh, the same one, Brad. Yeah.
It's the same one. Yes. It's adorable. Did you, there's also Noelle, there's also Spider-Gwen and Miles too. I didn't get those.
Yeah.
But,
I work at Five Below, and we sold all of them a couple weeks ago.
Yep. This is the big Spider-Man one. They make little ones too. So very cool.
Squishmallows. How about corgis? You ever hear of the corgi vehicles?
Yes. I had the corgi Spider-Man helicopter.
Nice
set, but it's long gone to time. Oh, that's
they have so many cool vehicles. Yeah, I've had most of them, and they had some small ones like this, or bigger, or medium size. Yeah. I like the one where it has Spider-Man in the dune buggy, and the Green Goblin's in the back in like a plastic bag, like hanging off the tow bar.
That's actually on the. It's a Hot Wheel. It's actually on my list of eBay searches to get it on card. I played with that little spider car so much. I had a Human Torch one. Nice. Where it lifted up. Yeah, I totally love those.
Good times.
Yep.
These were cardboard stand-ups that you would like fold out the bases and they'd stand up, and they had all 5 heroes in the package.
Thor has pants.
Yeah, they finally got his pants on.
It took him 10 years, but he got some pants.
He shouldn't have them on because he's in the fire there. He needs the shorts again.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the Hulk. He's stepping on some stars.
So they're stand-ups. Do they stand up like that Spider-Man Atari display? Is that what they do?
Yeah. Okay. You just bend the ends of the base, and that would support them.
Nice.
There's nothing behind them, just the base, like you just fold those two pieces back, and it supports
Nice.
them. Yeah,
That's cool. So you got like how many heroes in there? You got like Cap, Thor,
looks like
Hulk, and
5.
Spidey. Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
And
Very
some of them
cool.
have like different guys displayed in the front. Like there's Cap in the front, Thor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's a random question, and it's making me think of it. And if I don't ask you now, I'm going to forget. Do you remember the 3-bag comics? They were in a plastic bag. You get 3 of them. Do you have any of those? I am looking for on eBay for one of those.
I don't have any sealed right now.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, you could buy them. Sometimes they were coverless. Sometimes
really?
later on, they started having them with covers on. So,
Huh.
you know, yeah, I used to buy a lot of those.
Same here. They were put out by Whitman, I think. And
yeah, some are Whitman.
Yeah.
Some people claim that maybe that some store owners were doing that illegally. I'm not so sure about that, but some people have that theory that instead of sending them back, they tear off the cover and resell them. I don't know, but
put them in a Ziploc bag and resell them, huh?
Yeah, there were companies that legitimately sold them and had logos on the bag. So I don't know how much that story is true. I don't look around for organized crime to be involved in comic books that much. But, at least I hope not.
I don't think anybody's going to jail for putting 3 comics in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
you know.
When you talked about a pool float earlier, Brad, here's a Spidey pool float.
What in the heck?
Yeah, it's his head, and you can kind of, if you're small enough, you could fit inside. Like there's a ring. It's almost like a ring around.
When did the Hulk get electrocuted? Look at the art over on the left there.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing's trippy looking. What?
You weren't sure who you got in the package unless you looked at the check mark on your box.
Well, now they capitalized. I mean, they hyphenated, but didn't capitalize the M. That's yeah.
Now, who do you think this is, Brad? Is that Captain Marvel?
I think it's a 70s rock star. I don't know who that is.
Is it Rod Stewart?
Yeah, it's Rod Stewart. It's an inflatable Rod Stewart.
Inflatable Rod Stewart in your swimming pool. But they don't mention his name up here anywhere, just these 3. Then
I got to go Captain Marvel. It kind of looks Captain Marvel-ish.
I don't know about that one.
That one's trippy. Yeah.
Here's some old pins that I reacquired from the
those are
Marvel Mania days. Make Mine Marvel.
Yeah,
nice pins, and they're hard to come by with the heads on them.
Was that from Foom?
I think this one was more Marvel Mania, right before.
Marvel,
this is in the late 1967.
Yep.
Okay. Now this other one,
Mr. Comic says, no wonder the Hulk is angry. It's a bad hair day. I'd be pissed too.
Really bad hair day. My son used to have a stuffed toy Hulk, maybe from like a Crane game or something like that.
Yeah.
And if he shook it real fast, its hair would look like that. and then he would smooth it down, and he would do it again, and we'd laugh for hours at the crazy Hulk
funny.
hair. This pin.
Look at that. That's pretty.
It was given out, I believe, at a Marvel convention, like early in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
But I'm trying to figure out too. Maybe someone out there knows. I'm sure that I received it when I ordered something in the 70s, and I can't remember what I ordered, but it came in the order with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was the Marvel value stamp, but somehow it came in an order. But a lot of people recognize it as being given out at a convention back in the 70s.
That's cool.
Marvel
it's got
convention.
The classic circle head logo.
Yeah.
Looks pretty.
Tough button to find these days.
Yep.
I had one of these loose on the table last year, Brad, but now I got it on the card.
Nice. The water gun.
Water gun, 1973. That's an early one from Durham Industries.
Yep.
But yeah, the card's a little wavy and all that, but some of these are pretty pricey these days if you can't, if you find them in really nice condition.
With stuff like that, that's like you'd find them in the grocery stores, and they're just little cheap toys. I'm wondering if stuff like that just didn't sell and it just was housed in someone's basement or something, or a lot of that's probably destroyed nowadays. I mean, it's just amazing to find that stuff on cards.
I don't know what people would do with leftover stock back then either. They, give it to places that have kids like daycares or something. I don't know what they did with it back then, but yeah, you're right. There's probably boxes of them somewhere that hopefully be unearthed.
And I could totally see a guy cleaning out inventory like, this is trash. It didn't sell. So I trashed it. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. This next one would be something like you'd see in a supermarket or somewhere too. It's just a sharpshooter, like you're throwing these darts at the target.
Wait a minute. What's up with the Green Goblin's pants? The same artist from Thor colored the pants wrong. What? He's pink.
He's got pink sleeves also.
What the heck?
But I always thought it was cool because it had the artwork of the Goblin where he was like shooting the sparkles out of his gloves.
Yeah.
But this one even is tough to find in a decent price. Like mine
Wow.
has some water damage to it when I got it this year.
Yep.
But
That's cool looking, though.
even something as simple as that, Brad, these days, you know, it's $1 in the store.
Well, that's a 40, nearly 50-year-old toy.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
crazy. Man.
This one is an A-high item that I've been hoping to get for a long time. It's a lantern.
Oh, not
Spider-Man
Green Lantern, Spider Lantern.
Yeah, Spider Lantern.
What?
So,
it's the light is right in his midsection. Okay.
Yep, it's right there under his arms, under his chest.
Huh.
So pretty
That's
cool
so
box,
weird.
but yeah. All
How
kind
do you
of good
say it?
stuff.
Ahi that made that one.
Yeah, I call it A-high.
Ahi, Ahi,
Or
whatever.
it could be Ahi. It's Azrak Hamway International. That's what those three letters
Oh wow!
stand for.
Now you're just showing off.
Yeah. Well, I bought so many of them. Like this one. This was an Azrak Hamway International.
I almost bought that at a convention, thinking that was the original Spider Buggy that Stan Lee was forced to put in the comics. That's not the original Spider Buggy, is it?
That's not quite it. I think that they made one themselves that's really expensive. There's one on eBay right now, like above $2,000 in a box. And I think it was like kind of remote control, but you had to walk with it. Like your remote control was actually a cord that went to the buggy.
I remember
that one was more realistic. They claim
that's funny.
That's why they did that one. But yeah, Spider-Mobile. And here's an Ahi super fast accelerator, and they have a hyphen and they don't have a hyphen.
Where's the quality control?
Yeah, where's the high quality control? But at least they're starting to use some decent artwork. You know, using the actual Ramita artwork instead of having somebody.
So do you roll it backwards and it goes forward? Is that how that works, or what?
Yeah, a little bit. But this one also has a pull string in it. It's a new feature, Energizer Power Plant, and there's a pull string, and somehow that's involved. And
interesting.
That's why it's super fast.
Yeah. Why don't you open up? Why don't you open it out of the package right now, Bruce?
Okay,
I'm just
kidding.
Give it a try. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, just like Stan Lee, whatever you tell me to do, Brad, is what I do. Whatever.
Let's do an unboxing from a 50-year-old toy right now.
This one's practically unboxed as it is because I saw it on some of the other collectors that you were featuring, and I had it before. But
when Spider-Man goes to the lake,
when he goes to the lake fishing, he's got his net ready to catch all the fish. But this one's pretty much separated, from the package, but it's still strapped in there, unused.
Now here's a question: as a collector, if you put super glue on that, does that diminish the value, or what?
It's still to me it would be almost like a restored comic book.
Yeah,
it takes the value down from a normal one.
Interesting.
Sealed and not repaired.
Yeah.
But as a collector, if you want to do it yourself, that's great. You do what you want to do with your stuff. And some people never want to get their like comic books graded and slab.
Yeah.
It's always up to the collector what they want to do.
Yep. So all right. What else we got?
You want to go roller skating? We got the cheap pair.
Oh, I've seen those. Yep.
And this one, the tag's starting to come off a little bit, so that's something I can repair probably with another staple. But
those do not look comfy.
Red and blue skates.
Those look painful.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd like that one, but how about these right here with the deluxe version?
Oh, the deluxe. It's probably $10 more.
You got Spider-Man's face in the front, plus you can see a little bit of a mouth, like a frown there.
Ooh.
They made that part a little darker by his mouth. I'd be frowning too if someone had their feet inside me.
I have a feeling my size foot would not fit there.
Yeah. And here's the classic tape.
Oh, yep.
It's taped. See?
Yep.
Good old yellowish tape.
Who's the maker of those? What does it say on there? Laramie?
This one was Laramie.
Laramie. Okay.
Laramie.
Never heard of that company with Spider-Man stuff.
They did a lot of Spidey stuff, actually, and they were from Philadelphia.
Oh,
when I was starting to buy a lot, Brad, in the 90s, my friend Sal Choke and I hooked up. He's from Canada. And we went to some shows and things, and we'd always call each other and try to get each other fired up about stuff. And we'd say, "Oh, there's another Laramie," and we kind of like laugh when we find the Laramie stuff or the A-High or the Gordy. Like some of these are Gordy. I think this one was Laramie as well. But yeah, they did a lot of rack toys and things like that.
Yeah,
so
there's a book out there that I almost bought. It's called Rack Toys, and there's a lot of Spider-Man rack toys that they've profiled in that book.
Yeah.
So I don't know who wrote it, but
I love seeing books about these collectibles because there's so many out there that I've never seen, and I get surprised almost every day. And then I tell someone about something, they get surprised. It's kind of cool just to learn things as we go, but there's so many things that we may never know.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I like these shows that you do, Brad, because then I learn stuff, and other people can learn as well.
And the internet's forever.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Salvador says, the good old days of toys. Yeah, there you go.
We had a good time together. I'll tell you what, and it'd be funny because we go to the same show and we're both Spider-Man collectors. He'd go one direction, I go the other. He'd pass on something and I wouldn't know it, and I bought it. And then I'd pass on something, he'd buy it, and we both think that we were crazy for paying the prices we pay, but we got the job done.
Aaron on Facebook tells me the author's name. It's Brian Heiler is the author of that Rack Toys book that I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Thanks, Brian or Aaron.
You have to look up that book and try to get some of those books out there.
Yep.
Here's some clothing, Brad. I know you had this style of shirt.
I did.
From the Rock comic.
Yep.
I found one with the tags still on it.
Oh my gosh.
The tags are still on it. Mint condition. I had one in 1975 as well.
Wow, that's so cool.
This one doesn't have any coloring on the sleeves. Then I have another version here that has colored neckband and armbands, long sleeve version. I don't know which kind you had, Brad. Maybe it was long sleeve or short sleeve.
I think that one you're holding looks familiar. I wore that and the Underoos shirt a lot.
Yeah.
But man, did they put that Rock comic image on so many things?
They did. They loved it back in the 70s.
I mean, it's an epic image.
Yeah. Here's a tank top version.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Thor can wear that when he's wearing his shorts.
Or the Goblin. It would match his legs. Yeah.
I had a sweatshirt of this next one. Yeah, I had a sweatshirt of this next one, Brad, and this one has tags on it still. I had a sweatshirt of this one. I think it was light blue colored sweatshirt in the 70s. Here comes the Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice.
But there goes the Amazing Spider-Man.
They did that with the Hulk too. I remember
the Hulk had a pull toy though.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never seen the Spider-Man version of it though. That's cool.
The Hulk was pulling a toy behind him, which was kind of the funny part of it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
But in the 70s, like this is around 1975, there was so much clothing, Brad, like at Kmart. They came out with like these kind of sweatshirts, T-shirts, the Hulk, Captain America, the bicentennial shirts. There was just a ton of things. I can even remember some blue jeans that had like Spider-Man images on them or other characters.
I've never seen that.
I haven't found any on eBay, but they even had blue jeans with the characters.
Spider-Man jeans.
Spider-Man jeans back then.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, if my son goes snowboarding some more, we might want to wear this one.
Here, there's a comment that from Van Z that says, I love to find the Spider-Man ski mask I had as a kid, but it's super expensive on eBay. I bet you this is what he's talking about. Right there. There it is, Van.
From him. I didn't take it. I just take it, Van Z.
If he stole it from you, he'd be on the above the fold of the paper.
He wouldn't be wearing the tag either when he was a kid. I'm sure he wouldn't be wearing it.
Oh man, that's one of the first things you rip off on clothing too.
Yep.
So that's just
I've seen a couple of these. I've seen a couple of these this year on eBay.
Yeah,
and they do get kind of costly, but I was able to find a good price on that one.
Van Z says yes, that's
Van
it. Van Z, we found Van Z says, "What's your address?" We're not giving that out, Van Z.
My name is Brad Douglas, and I
no. Yeah,
I showed you this on a picture earlier this week, Brad.
Yes.
I just picked this up. This is current. This is 2021 Hallmark heavy 14-ounce metal.
Man, that's the new Hallmark ornament, isn't it? Yeah, the deluxe one or whatever.
The deluxe one, because they have a regular one as well. But this one is nice. It's so heavy. A tree limb won't support the weight.
I know your tree will tilt over with the weight of that thing.
It's gonna go at the base of the tree, but it's in the Ditko pose from the T-shirt, from what we saw earlier.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool pose. So
that's neat.
I had to pick that one up. Yeah. And I do have some statues, Brad. But I don't usually bring them out for the shows, but this is one that I particularly like because it's kind of like the origin of Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Boy, you don't see any. I can't even remember what the name of that machine is, but you don't ever see that. Man.
Yeah, and then you have Spider-Man in black and white, like in the shadows, like coming out later, of course. But yeah, there's the Ditko
Nice.
Peter Parker dropping his books after he got bit by the spider.
That's so cool.
They had, I think, definitely the Hulk. I don't know if they had a Thor version of this this statue as well.
Yep.
But I like that one a lot just because of
that's really cool
imagery in it. But
yep.
Here's one you were looking for on my table last time that I didn't have out.
Oh, I had that. I remember it. Used to take the Sunday comics and use your putty and transfer them. Yep.
Transfer what you see. Now, I think they took liberties with the muscular anatomy on this on this artwork. I don't know if you can see the leg muscles.
What's happening to his legs?
I think he grew about 15 extra muscles up along his arm and shoulder area, but they tried.
They tried. What's on the back of it? Oh, nothing.
They tried, but this one's unpunched. Look at that, buddy. Unpunched.
Oh, value went up.
Never put on the rack.
That's funny.
Rock comic. Here we go.
I remember you telling me when you got that. That's cool.
I got a couple
the 8
cool pieces to add to my rock comic collection this year. This one is a sealed 8-track.
Oh my gosh.
Totally sealed.
Wow.
Totally sealed, never opened by a human being. 8-track. I never even played 8-tracks when I was a kid, but I was young enough. I was born at a time that I could have.
Now this thing, I've never seen this.
These are the cassettes, and they jam them in there pretty good.
Don't really break it on the air here.
I won't break it. You go. But here's the cassette. You know, I did have cassettes as a kid, and even as an adult, I used to play cassettes all the time. But it's just this plastic, hard plastic case.
Oh, I thought it was paper. It's plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally hard plastic.
Yeah.
And there's a couple different versions of this. You know, I've seen some. Cy Winnie's shared some pictures with me. A couple different versions of this that I'd still like to get some more versions. But that's a pretty cool piece that I finally.
I've never seen the cassette.
The rock comic.
That's really cool.
Going backwards in time, 1960s.
Oh yeah.
Both of these were made by the Golden Record Company.
Yep.
This album is pretty expensive these days, especially if you can get the comic book that came with it. It was the first.
Yeah, reprint. It was a reprint of the first issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, and even that comic book by itself. I mean, it's so expensive now. But Brad, in the early 90s,
the first time I heard about that was when I bought the Overstreet Price Guide, and the Overstreet Price Guide had the record listed under the first issue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they did. They definitely had the Golden Record, listed in the Overstreet because of the comic, especially. But when I was buying so heavily in the early 90s, before I got married, I actually had they had 4 different character records, and I had all 4 of them sealed with the comic.
Oh wow!
Then. And I did sell them, right before the purge, and I got a good bit of money for them back then, but nothing like I would get these days because those comics have shot up in value incredibly. It's just the comics, let alone being sealed in a with the album. But and these were always cool because they were, the figure of Spider-Man or whatever character you bought, and inside there is a 45 LP, and it just comes right out of the top. There it is, Spider-Man and the Fickle Fly.
And that's on YouTube also if you want to listen to that record. So Braden Smith on YouTube says Bruce should have been in No Way Home.
Yeah, exactly. I have enough costumes now. I probably have 7 different versions, Brad, since I've been doing it for 20 years. But yeah, I should have been in there.
No doubt.
I don't know if you ever saw this LP before, Brad, but there's a couple different versions of it.
I don't know what the World of Icarus. What is that?
I'm not sure exactly. The original album was put out on a Grit label called Grit.
Okay.
That one over here, the dark cover, is like a reissue, and this one was another reissue. But on the back, you can check out the.
Oh wow!
The guys are in the band. Look at the band.
Jeez.
Look at the band.
They all look like the same dude. What in the world?
Well, this guy has facial hair. It's about different. Only different one there, but
oh my gosh,
that was the band.
Like, are there the songs are called the heroes? Like, there's a Spider-Man song.
Every song is just named for one of the heroes.
Okay, I'm searching YouTube for that. I've never seen that. Oh wow!
And it says,
wait a minute.
Play loud.
There's a
loud.
Thanos one. Is that? Or no, it's Thing.
The Thing. Madame Mask is in there though.
Madame Mask.
The Man Without Fear. They don't bother even telling that it's Daredevil.
Poor Daredevil.
Just the man. Oh, Things Thing is the name of his.
Yeah.
Things
And Black
Thing. Wow.
Panther has a song, and
Yeah.
interesting. I
And
got to
think,
go listen to that on YouTube, man.
Yeah,
The
you gotta
Icarus
find that one.
Band.
Let me see. I guess I don't know.
It's from Wile E. Coyote's Acme
Yeah,
Records.
Acme Records. You can get this, and you can get an anvil.
Oh yeah.
I think Icarus was the band name. I'm
what
going to assume that.
Yeah, I guess Icarus the band. Yeah. I don't think they are around like the Rolling Stones are. I don't think that 60s band is. It's from the 60s or 70s. What's the year?
This came out in the early 70s, but they may have started in the 60s. I'm not sure. But
play it loud, man.
Play it loud.
What's the name of the musicians down there? They got their names, it says?
Oh, yeah.
You got, oh, no.
Ian Hines.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe British.
John Etheridge.
Yeah. Peter Curtin.
Peter Curtin. And Nori Devine. C. Sax and flute clarinet. There you go. And Hulk is Steve Hart. There you go, fellas.
You don't hear much flute or sax in the music these days. You got to get more of that. Got to get back into that. Let me show you a couple more pieces here. Then we'll go check out the tree.
All right.
I got some clothing here, Brad.
All right. Love it.
A few episodes ago, when you and your Crawl Space staff were doing a live show and I was typing in comments, I told you about Spider-Man, a stunt spectacular.
Yes, I remember that.
2003.
I think Kelly went to that.
I don't know if she went to it, but I think she just said that these things happen. I think that's where it all started. I went to it.
Yeah.
My daughter was only a month old, and my wife was watching her, and I went with my nephew down to Pittsburgh because that was one of the cities that they made it to, and I bought this T-shirt back then.
Hey, where did it make it to in Missouri?
Can you see anything on there?
Did it go to Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yep, went to Kansas City. I missed it.
Yeah, but I remember when you guys looked it up on YouTube that night and found a clip of it.
That was a trip.
Kind of had a good laugh about it. But yeah, that was just one of the things I did over the years with Spidey.
Oh my gosh, that's loud.
Yes. This was worn. It's on the tag. It says House of Uniforms. This was worn by servers at Marvel Mania restaurants. Have you heard of the Marvel Mania restaurants?
I have. Can we? And then in Florida, at Universal Studios.
Yeah, I think they had a couple of different locations around the country, but it didn't last that long. But this was supposedly worn by the employees.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm a little bit afraid to put it on myself, and I don't know. People make fun of me about other things enough as it is. And this is a repro. This isn't the original, but I had to show you Steve Ditko's beautiful T-shirt again. But this repro is color-wise correct. Some of the ones that graffiti made in the 90s had different colored logo and stuff. But this is the more recent one put out that pretty much has that. But I need that real original shirt, Brad.
Have you ever seen it on eBay? Or, I mean, how much does the original 60s shirt go for?
I'm not going to say because I want to try to get one to cheap. But
I just find it amazing that a T-shirt will go for several $100.
My friend Cy sold me one about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was nice, but there were some issues with it, and somebody else wanted it really badly, so I sold it off. But I have a frame, and I want one of those to be in my house so that when the 6-foot poster comes back from the Bottle Works exhibit one of these days, I want to have that shirt with it. So if anybody out there has a lead on one, please let me know.
What do you? Well, I won't tell people what to search for eBay because they'll snatch it before you can buy it. But
I don't know if they'll be able to afford to snatch it, or any of us will. But it's hard, because there's so many Spider-Man shirts out there. You can't just search Spider-Man shirt. So
that's a hard search to find.
Yeah, it's hard, but
yeah,
I've seen them come up for sale even this last year on eBay. They were asking a lot of money for one that wasn't in good shape, so I kind of held off on that. But
and it's the same theory about those rack toys. I mean, people wore the shirts and tossed them. I mean, this would have to be in a drawer untouched.
I've seen some photos from some really great collections that have some that were in a drawer untouched.
Yeah,
and they're awesome to behold, but they're also hard to get out of the hands of the collectors.
No doubt. Did we reach the end of the table? Was that the last thing?
That was the end of the table. I may have skipped one or two things. I'm not sure.
That's awesome.
That's the end of the table. So
we talked about the Christmas tree. We got to go to the other room and see the tree.
For that. Should I go first, or
You can
How
go
should we-
first,
okay. How you doing, Noel? You doing okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
Noelle, how's
trooper.
your arm? You doing okay?
She's a
Yeah, I'm
trooper.
good.
She's
Good.
a softball pitcher. You know, it's her first year in college, and she's buff, so she can do this.
She's got a strong arm. Yeah.
Yeah. Please ignore the mess. Some of these parts of our house is where we kind of toss things. We're a busy family with athletes and teenagers.
Oh,
and all
Justin
that
wants
stuff.
to know where the shirt's from. That was a reprint, Justin.
Yeah, that was a reprint. You could probably find them, you know, different places on the internet and things like that. I don't know exactly where I got that reprint one, but
Yeah, I think
well,
it was
here's the Spider-Man tree.
Dynamic Forces or something. Print those out. Oh my gosh, look at that beauty.
I'm going to need a bigger tree.
Oh, that's so pretty. Tell me about that white stocking over there. That looks old. I think I had that.
I'll let Noel walk over a little closer, but I don't see a date on it because it's kind of worn down.
That's got to be 80s, man. That
might be 1980, maybe 79.
Yeah.
There was a company, Brad, that did these decoration books. It was called Christmas World.
Oh.
And they may have had stores around the country, Christmas World. They did these booklets too at the same time, I believe, as those stockings.
Oh, I don't remember those at all.
And they have a Spider Woman, they have a Hulk, and on here it says
pictures is just covers in there.
It's actually a miniature story of some panels and things.
Oh,
it's not very many
weird.
pages.
Huh.
But they have a couple different pages in there, you know, of different things. But you could see them on eBay right now. There's some that they sell in packages. Some people sell the whole set.
Yep.
Every year, my mother-in-law gets members of my family Hallmark ornaments, so she gets me the Spider-Man every year. But even before she started doing that, I had a bunch of ornaments coming in.
There's one that every Spider-Man collector, I think it was the very first Hallmark ornament. It's right there under the circle blue with the Bagley jumping at you. I see it. I've got that one.
Yeah, the very first Hallmark. Yeah.
Is that am I right with that? Is that the right first one? Here.
Which one is it again?
Point up to the left. To the left.
One. Yep.
Yeah, that one. Is that the first one?
That's the first Hallmark.
Yep. I've got that on my tree at my mom and grandma's house. Yep.
Some of my older ones, Brad, are at the bottom here. These were like ceramic, and they were made by
pretty.
They were made by Attackus, that same company that made that ceramic plate I showed you last time that had like the Figaro bust on it.
Yep.
That's an Attackus. This one was just a plastic toy from the early 90s.
Yep, the PVCs. Yep.
Just plastic.
I've got that too. I got the Hulk and the Wolverine one.
Nice.
To go with that one.
Now look at this one, Brad. This one allows you to put a photo inside the.
Oh, is that Baby Noel?
That is Baby Noel.
Oh,
that's my first Spidey costume back in 2002.
That's so cute. I've got a picture of my daughter just like that. Our poor daughters.
Yeah. She played along pretty well, Brad. She played along.
But we have Mr. Comic says my favorite stocking is the far right one.
Yeah, that's a cool picture. I mean, it's you know, it's 3-dimensional. It's coming off there, and underneath there you can see too the holiday special with Mary Jane and Spidey.
From Toy Biz. Yep.
Good old Toy Biz.
Yep.
Some of these snow globes down here too.
Oh, you have snow globes. Cool.
They play some pretty cool music. I can shake them up and get the snow going.
To play the Spider-Man theme song?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, there you go.
My wife's really into music. She said they're a little bit off key with this. Maybe it's just the machinations are kind of bad.
When did those come out? I've never seen those.
And here's a different one. More for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like the Toyland song. Toyland. It's really fast.
Bruce, when did those come out? It's got the 90s Spider-Man logo on it.
This was probably around 2000, I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah.
2003, it says on the back. But yeah, it has that 90s Spidey logo.
I love you have your light up angel. I was just, right. I've got that exact same thing. Yep. That's a good place for it.
A desk lamp, right?
Yep. Desk lamp.
And I found that, it was wire based, so it kind of fit right on there real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, some of these other Hallmark ones play the song as well when he's on the rooftop, like coming down. Yeah. So we got all kind of cool stuff. I like these old fashioned style that were like blown, blown plastic. I don't know what you call those.
Oh, look at
They're like
that.
metal,
That looks
but-
like Spider-Man 3 or McGuire.
Yeah, those were McGuire ones for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to turn the lights out here in a second, Brad. But
Okay.
these were sets of lights that came with Spider-Man head on them.
Yep. I remember them.
And then these other sets of lights were Spider-Man's body. And you can still see them on, I think I got those at maybe like Toys R Us or something like that, Spider-Man's body.
Yep. I remember that Amazing Fantasy 15 up there.
Yeah, that's a cool one that opened up.
That's a neat one.
Yeah. And this other one, when you push the button in the mirror, you see somebody appear.
It's the Goblin, I think.
Yeah, you
yep.
see the
Green
Goblin
Goblin's
in
back
there.
there. Yep.
Yeah, when you
That's
push
cool.
the button, it's kind of cool.
Web Slinger from Pennsylvania says Randy Bowen sculpted 2 ornaments. Do you know which ones those are?
I think, yeah, I don't have it on the tree. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one here is one of them. This is a Bowen.
Oh, that's a good looking one.
I believe
Nice.
that's one of the Bowens. Yeah, they came out right before my kids were being born, around 2002. Yeah, Randy Bowen had some cool ones as well.
And you've got the little lunch boxes that I've got on my tree.
The little lunch boxes that
cute.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have some Spider-Man candy canes.
Oh,
they came
gross.
like with a comic book. They're like a pack of these and a comic book. They have little web design on them. So
did my eyes deceive me? Is Hulk Hogan looking at the tree down there? Is there a Hulk Hogan on the bottom left? It's like Hulk Hogan is just watching the Spider-Man.
The Hulkster is mesmerized.
Well, you know, it's my 2 favorites, Hulk and Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to turn off the lights and let you see this in beautiful condition.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, here, I need to full screen you. There you go. Oh, that's so cool. Spider tree. Now, Bruce, do you keep it up all year or do you take it down?
I do keep it up all year now, Brad.
Nice.
Years ago, we had more space. I would push it around the corner into a closet, and I even would cover it with a giant Spider-Man bag they sold back then. It was bigger than like Santa's sack. That's how big the bag was. And but I keep it up all year now. There's usually a whole bunch of junk, even more than what's on the floor right here, right now.
Yeah.
In front of this tree. But
would you mind also look? Can you grab that Mary Jane Santa and Spider-Man Santa in the box over there?
Yep.
I love that. That was from Toy Biz in the 90s, late 90s, I think. That's such a cool little set that came with. Yes, I've got that magnet on my fridge still.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, there weren't that many made, Brad. Only 35,000.
Well, I was one of them, and you were too. So
one of 35,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that set. You know, I bought it at Toys R Us for $12.99.
Yep, that's probably where I bought it too. That's so cool.
If you want to take a look behind us, I do have a few Spider-Man busts and
oh, nice,
and artwork up there.
Very cool. You've got that John Romita Jr. classic print back there.
Yeah, he signed it for me at a Pittsburgh Comic Con one time at the bottom.
Do you know the error on that?
I don't know the error.
Okay, so Noel, if you could push right in on it, you see Carnage at the bottom?
Yes.
Carnage never has a tongue. That was meant to be Venom, but they colored it wrong.
Oh, okay. I see the tongue. I see the tongue.
But yep, John Romita Jr. signed that. That's a lovely print. I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he was at the Pittsburgh Comic Con. We got that.
Ooh, let's pan the shelf. What do we got? What do we got here?
Move this off so you can see the.
Ooh, those are Bowens, aren't they?
Yep, we got a lot of the Bowens. I sold some off.
Yep.
This bank I got down at Universal Islands of Adventure years ago.
Yeah, that's cool. What is stretched across the 2 shelves? What is that?
Oh, that's that back scratcher from last year.
Wait a minute. You got.
Remember, I showed it to you last year on the video.
I've forgotten about the back scratcher.
Yeah, the back scratcher.
Here, demonstrate the back scratcher, Bruce. Let's take a look at this.
Look at this. You can reach as hard to reach spots. Came from Universal Studios or Universal.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Islands of Adventure.
I see J. Jonah. Oh, and that's a good-looking Mary Jane up there. There's your model.
Model kit from the 70s.
Yep. Oh, is that the classic glass from, was it 7-Eleven?
Yes.
7-Eleven put those
7-Eleven
glasses
out.
Yep. Oh, God, don't drop it.
That's all right. I have about 3 of these, but we'll be fine.
Okay.
It won't hit the floor in here. We got so much things piled up. It won't ever hit the floor.
Oh, look at that. And then you got a Stan Lee Bowen bust. I've got that Bowen in between Stan and Peter over there. I've got that one.
Yeah, the one right there. Yep.
That's a pre Funko Pop with that bobblehead there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before the Funkos came out.
Mr. Comics says Spider-Man should be stopping bad guys, not scratching your back, dude. And Michael on Facebook says the 2-pack Christmas figures are divine. So
yeah, they're pretty cool.
What's up with that Gwen Stacy glass? I've never seen that.
Toon Tumblers did a bunch of glasses.
Yeah, I've got one. They're still making them. I've got one right here.
We use them to drink out of most of the time, but
same.
Some of them were specific to Comic Cons. Like this one was for Baltimore only.
Oh, cool.
So it has a Spidey heart. Now the one that's hard to find is the Mary Jane. I forget where it was exclusive to.
Oh, it's a Face It Tiger, I think.
Yeah, that's a hard one to find at a good price.
Now, did Spider-Man get injured? What's that thing below the shelves? What happened to that dude?
This is my junk room, Brad.
What happened to this guy?
In 1992, this is a knockoff actually, but in 1992, a company in Japan called Reds made a nice Spider-Man, and he was hanging from a web and shooting a web out this way, and it stopped in midair like a big glob.
Okay.
And it's very rare. I saw a picture with Stan Lee. He had it in one of his offices in a magazine one time. I saw it at a shop out of town, and they wouldn't part with it. So I eventually got this one that was like a knockoff, but it's seen better days. It used to hang in my weight room.
Funny.
And the glued parts need to be glued again. But I always thought it was pretty cool. Pretty detailed, and the fact that he was shooting a web, out of one hand and it stopped in midair.
Is it broke? Did you break it? Is it?
Yeah, not really. It's kind of like glued.
Okay.
It was like almost like a model kit to put together.
Yeah.
So the glue
Van Z has a question about the back scratcher. It jogged a memory. Wasn't there a 70s Spider-Man hand grabbing toy? Yes, there was. I had it.
I had the
Spider-Man
hand grabber as well. And Brad
Yeah.
and I have been looking at it on YouTube or on eBay recently, and
I can't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I
It's
think it
beat
may have
up.
gone. It may have sold eventually. That
Yeah.
one had the restapled card on it that had fallen off or whatever. But
Yes, Durham put that out, Aaron. Yes.
yeah, that was a cool grabber.
Yeah.
These two were from the early '90s as well. They were releasing like lead figures, or they were bigger than the ones for the role playing or for the the Marvel TSR game or whatever it was.
Oh, I remember that.
The board game. They're a little bit bigger. Maybe you could use them for chess or something like that. But Spidey and Green Goblin.
Well, Bruce, I've got a couple questions I starred that people asked us through the show, and I'll pop them up here. Let's see. Justin wants to know where they can get our shirts. Kohl's. I got mine from Kohl's.
Yeah, I think that's where you turned me on to it at Kohl's, and I think that's where I ordered it.
You can get our shirts at Kohl's.
Steve Ditko.
Del Boy 3001. Can you still get the old 70s Spider-Man plaster cast molds that you could then paint? He can't find them on eBay, is what Del Boy says.
There's one on there. At least there was the last time I looked. It's called Mix and Mold with the letter N. Mix and Mold. Look up Spider-Man Mix and Mold. You'll see it on there.
And also, if you have any more questions for Bruce, we're getting close to wrapping it up. I say about the 2-hour mark, another 15 minutes. If Noelle can hold the camera, her poor arm.
Yeah. You want to head back over into the other room, guys, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, you can go back. Yeah, let's go back in the other room, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
Let's see.
What's the Mary Jane?
Oh, that
you got a Mary
Jane. That was the statue.
Let's see. Van Z wants to know, did you get appraisals for insurance for all this stuff?
I did not get specific appraisals. And like I said, I know people have a lot more than I do, but I'm going to be, I sell a lot and downsize when I can or when I need to. So some of my more expensive things probably will be leaving at some point, in the near future.
Yeah. Mr. Comics. What the heck is that?
I showed you that last year. Spider
Spider Banana.
I had to knock off bottles about 8 years ago at an amusement park with one throw, Brad.
Oh, that's funny. That actually ties into one of our next questions, which is from Citros. Do you have any knockoff Spider-Man toys? So the bananas one, right?
That's definitely one.
Yeah.
And that Reds broken plastic model kit was a knockoff. I used to
Right.
have the Spider-Man on a motorcycle and the Hulk in the sidecar, which is hilarious because like
I've
the
seen
Hulk
that.
couldn't really fit in the sidecar.
Yeah.
You know, why isn't he on the motorcycle? But that's a knockoff as well. If you see those on eBay or places, but that's a cool one.
Is that the most valuable knockoff? I mean, what's a one
I'm
people are
not
trying
sure
to
to
get?
tell you the truth, like what the most valuable one. I know those have sold pretty high recently, but when I had it back in the '90s, it wasn't that much.
Right.
But most knockoffs, you know, they don't sell for that much, but you know, they're kind of cool to have if you can find them.
Mr. Comics wants to know, Bruce, do you have any Spider-Man Funko Pops in your collection?
I don't know if I have any Spidey. I got some wrestlers. You know, I'm a wrestling fan, and I had some wrestlers, but I don't have any place to display stuff, so I don't buy much modern things. You know, that Hallmark ornament was kind of modern, but
Here you
as
go,
saw on
Bruce.
my
I mean,
table,
Mr.
just don't have
Comics,
any
I got
modern
a
things.
black cat from Target. I got this for Christmas.
You got the best
And-
ones, Brad. I always see yours. I'm like,
I know. And I
can
got
live vicariously through Brad.
and I got a Hobgoblin one. These are based off the 90s cartoons. So if you want to go get
That
those.
Hobgoblin I saw you posted the other day. That one's really cool. I like
That
one a
one
lot.
was hard to find, but I love that they put out a black cat because they've never done a black cat Funko
Yeah.
Pop. So, all right, let's see. Oh, Mr. Comics also asked about Funko Pops. He primarily focuses on Spider-Man Funko, and good grief, there are a ton of them. There's even a 1970s Japanese Spider-Man coming out on Funko
cool.
Pops. Oh, what do you got there?
This one was like a newspaper they put out about monsters and things like that in the 70s, called the Monster Times. And on the back, you'll see like the Wolfman or Planet of the Apes. And this issue, you know, had stuff about Spider-Man and Marvel Comics in it. So, you could buy them or subscribe to them. But, you know, I really wasn't into that as a kid, but I got this as an adult. Monster Times.
Citros says some of the stuff I'm sure JR was around when they were brainstorming making these things is what Citros says.
Well, you'd be surprised. I'm probably closer to JR than you think as far as age goes, guys. But
yep.
This one.
What do we get there?
This one came from it was called a Playthings magazine, and it kind of like was a sales sample like magazine, like things to buy.
Yeah.
And at the top, there's a whole bunch of Ben Cooper costumes. And that's what you would see in the store. Like the display would be hanging up above the boxes.
It's like a hook,
see a display, and you can go pick out your costume that you want in the boxes below it. That was 1968 Playthings magazine.
Nice. Keith wants to know if you have any Scarlet Spider-Man stuff from the Clone Saga.
The only Scarlet Spider-Man I have is when they made like almost a 12-inch doll with a cloth costume, Toy Biz.
Yep.
And he was in the Scarlet uniform in one of those.
Yep.
I think that's about it for Scarlet that I have. That read the comics, but wasn't buying a whole lot of those modern toys when they came out. But I have that one. When you take the mask off, I think he does have the blonde hair underneath. Oh,
Mr. Comics says, "Nice, Brad. I got Spider-Man and Madam Web from Target. I couldn't pull the trigger on that Madam Web. I'm not that big a Madam Web fan." Aaron wants to know if you have any Marks or Gordy collectibles.
I do have a Marks that I showed in the last show, but I'll grab it real quick. It's right over here.
Yeah.
This was the Marks Walker, like mechanical wobbler.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And I showed it to you in the last show, but it's from like 1966. And you wind it up and it just kind of wobbles around. And the cool, well, kind of cool, but back in around 1988, I went over to the Mid-Ohio Con. That was a big con for around this area. And I saw a dealer that had a case of these. He had all the characters. He had the Captain America, Thor. And I thought, well, that's cool. I wasn't buying collectibles as much as I was back then. And he was selling the set for like $75, 3 of them. And I said, well, I don't have enough to buy the whole set. Can you sell me the Spider-Man for 20? He said, no, I need 25. And I wasn't willing to do that at the time.
$5, man, $5.
I know. I was on a very limited budget, and I wasn't buying toy collectibles at the time. I had Spider-Man stuff from my childhood, but nowadays these are easily $300 to $600.
So you said that is a Marks? Is that what that is?
Yep, Marks.
So did Marks do the train? Is that what?
Yes.
If memory serves? Okay, that's what. It wasn't that one of the very first Marvel collectibles of all time.
It wasn't as early as some people think, but it's real hard to find in the box.
Right.
Werner showed you it in the box, like in his case. He has some in the box. They're really tough to find in the box, but they're very valuable. But they weren't some of the earliest, but they were all these marks around 1966, 1968. So it was pretty early.
And what is Gordy? I don't know the company. What did Gordy put out?
Gordy's more like the rack toys, like what we saw, like the targets and the guns and things like that would be on a carded display piece, but kind of like the AHI or the Laramie or the NASA, they're all on cards.
Web Slinger from Pennsylvania says the Mary Jane Toon Tumbler was from the Baltimore Comic-Con. So.
Yeah, that was. I mean, one year they probably did Gwen Stacy, the next year they did Gwen or Mary Jane. That one's the most valuable that I've seen with the Toon Tumblers.
Aaron wants to know: do you have any original animation cells?
I do not, and I would really love to have one because whenever I was showing you this video disc, I told the viewers on our first show that my very first experience with Spider-Man was the first initial season of the cartoon when I was 3, becoming 4 years old. So I would love to have one. Of course, they're very costly, but I can dream big, I guess. But I don't have any of any cartoon series, but I would especially love some from the 1967 Spider-Man show.
I think Van Z is excited about that Mid-Ohio Con. Was close to him, so he can go get that Spider-Man ski mask. He's still after that ski mask.
Maybe you go get that one. I remember their special guest at that show was John Byrne, who was red hot at the time as far as a comic book artist, and Roger Stern. And I took a whole bunch of Spider-Man comics, and if you paid a dime each for charity, they would sign your book. So I had a whole stack of Spider-Mans for Roger Stern to sign.
Mr. Comics wants to know your favorite Spider-Man movie, Bruce.
My favorite Spider-Man movie is actually Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus. I think that's probably my favorite superhero movie. Like, I just think it's the best that I've seen as far as what I like in a superhero movie.
Same.
This new Spider-Man, I loved it, and like I said to Brad and the other people, it's like a movie event to me. Like it's bigger than a movie, and I was very, very pleased with it. But as far as the story goes and just the whole movie, I still love Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Braden says, who's your favorite Spider-Man actor? Andrew Garfield is the best, says Braden.
Yeah, Braden. I know Braden. He's local here. He's a good friend of mine. He loves Andrew Garfield, and I loved all three of them. To tell you the truth, I don't have anything against any of them. It's just hard for me because Tobey was the first one, and so like I'm more emotionally invested in Tobey, but I'm more than happy with what all three of them have done in the movies.
Yep. Trayvon wants to know, what's your favorite Spider-Man comic book?
The favorite issue or the favorite run? Well, it's hard to say.
Say either one. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, my first issue was number 71 with Quicksilver, Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know if that's my favorite, but I still have it. It's I shared it on the last episode where Stan Lee signed it and John Romita signed it. It's hard to beat Spider-Man 33, like I said, because of that 4 or 5 pages where he's struggling and struggling, and he finally pushes off the heavy weight so he can pick up the serum for Aunt May. Those are some of my favorites. Yep. Just about any of the Green Goblin too, like John Romita issue, the Green Goblin, they're all awesome.
Aaron wants to know if you own any prototypes.
I've never owned a prototype. I know there's a lot of prototype collectors out there, and those are cool. To get like one of the action figure prototypes or things like that. Yeah, I've never gotten into that, but I think they're very cool, and you got to have a lot of money.
Yeah. I've seen. I think there was like a documentary on the toys that defined us on Netflix or something, and those prototypes. So what do? The designer sends instructions to a designer of the toys, and then they mold the plastic. And if you own a prototype, you have the mold of what the artist did. Is that what I'm
right? And the colors could be way off or strange. Yeah. And it might even be a larger scale than what they actually produce them in. But they're kind of cool, and there's people that really go after them. So obviously you've got one of a kind item, just like original art.
Aaron also wants to know, how many comics from the Amazing Spider-Man title are you missing?
I don't know exactly. I don't have a goal of completing it because
that's
I don't have
expensive.
Fantasy 15 or the first 5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. So I'd have to imagine I'm probably within 40 of having all of them, but
Yeah.
I never really compiled the list lately because that's outside of my budget. And
Yeah.
I like the omnibus. I buy those, and I
Yeah.
can reread the old issues that way.
Yep. Our friend Werner, who also has a huge Spider-Man collection, he says, beautiful display work, Bruce. So thank you, Werner.
Thank you,
Werner
Werner.
wants
We're
to
looking
do
forward.
a follow-up too.
Yeah, I'm
So
looking
that'd be
forward to
fun.
seeing his stuff the second time around, and he's got really amazing things.
Yeah.
He even allowed us to show some here in Johnstown for the Steve Ditko exhibit. So
Nice.
thank you for letting us do that, Werner. And your collection blows me away.
Web Slinger from Pennsylvania. Don't forget about Nicholas Hammond. We don't. You've got the video disc to prove you haven't forgotten about Nicholas Hammond.
Yeah, and I got a signed photo of Nicholas up here.
Oh yeah,
behind the costume here. I didn't get it signed in person, but at least I have him signed, and I do appreciate what he did for the character.
Yeah,
I was in my early teenage years when that came out, so to me it was a little bit cringy back then because my friends weren't into Spider-Man, and that show wasn't like as good as what they can do now with technology. But
yeah,
I appreciate what he did for the character.
Mr. Comic says, "Who's your favorite Spider-Man villain?"
I'd have to say Green Goblin. I like all the classics, but the Green Goblin, of course, has been in some of the most dramatic episodes in the comic books, so he stands out.
Yeah. Van Z says, have either of you been to Metropolis, Illinois, and seen the Superman Museum, and has it given you any ideas to open up a Spider-Man museum?
I've not been there. I've seen some video and some still shots of the museum, and it's beautifully done. I don't have enough to make a Spider-Man museum, and I don't know if I could afford to do it or make money at doing it. So I would love to see something happen here in Johnstown. We're still doing Steve Ditko things. We're going to have a beautiful mural up in giant size with Ditko, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange that Matt Lamb of the Bottle Works has worked out with Marvel Comics. It's the first time Marvel Comics has allowed outdoor art anywhere in the United States. So for us to be able to do that is awesome. And we're looking forward to some more permanent type things for Steve Ditko, especially because he's our hometown hero here in Johnstown. So anything's possible. I don't have aspirations for that, but something I do have aspirations for, Brad and viewers. I'm hoping to do a book about my life and my connection with Spider-Man through the years. And, I've started to write a couple of chapters of it. And so I'm hopefully, going to have that published someday. I enjoy having my stories out there, my connections, my emotional connections, the cool things that have happened to me, connected to Steve Ditko because we're in Johnstown, all these things that have happened in my lifetime. I just like having the stories out there. It's not about me, becoming famous because I'm not famous, but I like having my stories and the stories of my collectibles and how much it's meant to me, as well as just having the items. It's more than just having the items.
Does Johnstown have a convention and visitors bureau?
We do.
Okay.
And they're,
you could totally talk to them about a Spider-Man museum. That would bring tourism in from around the world.
Sure. And they've been involved, and they've been contacted, with Bottle Works, things that are going on here in town. And we're just slowly moving along. And, Steve Ditko is more than just Spider-Man, of course, but that's his most well-known character. So we're trying to do what we can. We're trying to work with the family, the Ditko family, and do things in the right way.
I like that question, Van Z. I wonder, you probably would have to get Marvel and Disney to okay that, wouldn't you? A Spider-Man museum. I wonder if Warner Brothers okayed the Superman museum. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I guess to some extent you would. Especially if you're selling merchandise like the Spider-Man Museum T-shirt or Spider-Man Museum booklet. You probably would have to, but otherwise, I'm not sure.
Yeah. You've already sold a copy of the book. Make it 2. I'll buy one too. Van Z would love to read your book.
Nice. I appreciate it.
And Braden says that The Green Goblin by William Dafoe is amazing and is the best.
No, he was even better the second time, Brad. You and I both agree with that. He was so awesome in this new movie.
And I didn't even mind not covering his face up with a classic Green Goblin mask. Like seeing Dafoe going nuts was crazy.
Oh, exactly.
Yep.
Incredible.
Hey, before we go, I want to give Bruce a plug. Every month or so, he does a column on the crawl space. It's called Spidey Stash. And you've got, you show off your collectibles, and you you make a little video to go with them too, which I love.
Yeah. Cool.
And the most latest one was the Ben Cooper costumes.
Right.
You did that on around Halloween to show off all the various costumes. So we can take a look. I know you can't see the monitor right now, Bruce, but I'm showing the stuff on the crawl space where people can see what you wrote.
It's cool. The last time Brad interviewed me 13 months ago, I told him that if he ever wanted me to be involved, I'd be more than willing to. And he came up with the idea of me writing the articles and including a 15-minute or so video. And it's been fun to get those stories out there and to get those collectibles out there.
And to find his column, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can go over here to the tab. You click on columns and Spidey Stash. Also, if you go on the front page, there's a little icon of like a Spider-Man backpack. And it's over next to all the icons of all the different columns. So if you look at Spidey Stash right here, you can see Bruce's articles. Here, and you've done, let's see, I think you've done 5 of them, and let's go through what all you tackled. You did the Halloween costumes. I think you did the back to school stuff. Yep. With what's the name of the company that I like so much? Nasta. So you had folders and pencils and stuff like that. You also did the model kits of the various Spider-Man model kits. I love that creepy Spider-Man van back there that you did. The second one you spotlighted were the mail-away items that you can get, like that weird-looking Ditko pillow that you have framed now.
The tough stuff. That's what I call the tough stuff. The mail-away stuff was
the mail-away stuff, no doubt. And the very first one you did was, of course, the Rock comic, which is your absolute favorite.
Yeah, I've really keyed in on the Rock comic over the last couple of years, as far as as buying and trying to get the variations of that.
You've got so many variations of all the images of that Rock comic on Frisbees and T-shirts and stuff like that. So, and all the variants. And I'm even pulling it up where you have a counter display of Spider-Man holding the record.
Yeah, those are tough to come by. I had one at one point and ended up selling it off, but a long time ago. But
anyway,
I'm getting educated, Brad, as I do all these different articles and things. I educate myself, and I'm so glad that there's collectors that know a lot more than I do, and they've taught me things over the years as well.
No doubt.
The connections and relationships with the collectors has been one of the joys.
No doubt. It's nice to see so many Spider-Man collectors sharing this stuff and educating about it, etc. So, any final thoughts, Bruce? We're going to wrap it up. Anything you'd like to say, or?
I just want to say thanks for watching. Anybody that's watching out there, if you watch it in the future, you can contact me through Instagram at Spidey Collector, or through Facebook through my own name, Bruce Wechtenhiser, or through the crawl space. You can make comments on things, and please keep checking out the crawl space. There's so many good things on here, so many panel discussions, so many reviews of the comics, the movies. Brad and his staff are just awesome, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. Thankful for all these collectibles that you see around me, and more than anything else, I'm thankful for all the relationships with the collectors I've met over the years.
No doubt.
And of course, with my loved ones here in Johnstown. Brad's the one that started it all last year. So Brad, I always thank you, and I've had so much fun this past year.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast.
It all started.
And Noel, if you don't mind, can you flip the camera? Can we see your face? And thank you for your hard 2 hours of holding the camera. Will the camera flip?
Yeah.
There you are.
There she is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The best.
The viewers, thank you. Keith Owens says, awesome display and video, guys. SoFlo says good night. And with that, we will wrap it up with father and daughter and roll out to the Patreon members. Thank you all for watching.